What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Friday, April 1st to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here at the Pub Sports Radio headquarters at the Southtown 101 in San Antonio, Texas. I apologize that I'm late this morning. It is Fiesta here, and I could not catch an Uber. And it was a problem that I did not realize was going to happen. And messed me up a little bit. But we are in a business coming off a disappointing night in NHL. 0-2, go 2-0 in NBA. I've been keeping my volume lower, and NHL is making me so angry I'm going to lose my shit. I have made 2 bets already in NHL. I've moved on the Sabres first period at plus 140 as I came very close to taking the full game there, and I did not. And then I'm on the Oilers -1. Are the Blues as good as they looked the last 2 games? Or are they that 3-6-3 team that, won 3 out of 12 games a minute ago? Edmonton has won 8 straight games at home. Why wouldn't they make it 9? They're trying to make that a tough building to play in. And so I took them on the -1 line and the plus line. That's all I have done. Shout out to Res Mob and all of you in the chat. Res Mob saying this is getting out of control. Another cash. He has not lost since March 24th. He's going for 13 straight wins. There's our guy, Fat Wally, in the house. His 3-game parlay thanks to the Bulls comeback. That was a wild comeback. Dan Kelly says, if Dallas is winning straight up at halftime, I will be on second half Washington. Shop for good lines. There's big show picks in the house. And Dan Kelly said, I told you a few days ago the Cavs are tanking. It's been incredible. By the way, if you guys noticed the action from Dan Kelly yesterday, he had Hawks -8 at plus 140. I mean, that's a man who knows what he's doing and knows the team inside out. They are tanking. It should have been a first quarter, first half, full game Hawks instead of just a full game Hawks. Ryan Kozlowski, there's Sam I Am. Ryan Kozlowski says Kucherov over 1.5. Got to be points, right? At plus 130, and Draisaitl over 1.5 at plus 150. Draisaitl trying to get where his line mate McDavid's at 100 points. Danny Lopez in the house, North Ender. Nutflush on says, can you give my boy Raymond a shout out? He's doing a test run with the Low Bag family. Raymond, what is happening? Thank you for joining us. And that is exactly what we are. We are a family. We cap together and defeat the juice together, and then everything is transparent. There hasn't been the same record keeping over. I mean, I've got everybody's action here. I just haven't done the record keeping because there's been a lot of late evenings. Everybody came here to party, and I came here to party too. But I also had to work, so it was very, very tricky. There's Nilo in the house. Says bring some warm weather back. Snowing this morning. Oh, that's awful. Elliot V. Guillermo Zertucci in the house. Dan Kelly says, imagine someone is going to pay a ticket to see Sacramento at Houston, Detroit at OKC, Portland at San Antonio, and the Pelicans at Lakers. Says there are some bad basketball games in the NBA today. Mark Schillingberg in the house. I had myself a night last night. Hit the triple up on the NIT over 137.5. Texas A&M at the half and Xavier money line. Ooh, and swept the board but pushed Utah. Nice job, Mark. There's Razor Sharp Picks in the house. Great to see you, Razor. It was so much fun to hang with Razor Sharp Picks finally. Vipe. What a great group. So thank you guys all for joining us. Let me tell you guys about the show. We got JPZ, Jimmy Gomez, Ron Crawford. Ron Crawford, another spreadsheet winner last night, and he's come in with the Rangers spreadsheet play of the day. Rangers in that Rangers-Islanders game, big one. And Islanders' third game in 4 nights, and trying to play spoiler. And got that copied and pasted. Slat said Jimmy riding a pony through the streets of San Antonio trying to get to the studio. It was it's Fiesta here now, so it's a little things are wild. Things are wild in San Antonio, and I did not predict that. Astu Chaos says, were you planning on staying this long? Yes, I was, because tomorrow we are going to Lake Charles, and I'm going to do a review of a sports book at the Golden Nugget.
That's so funny still. It's still very funny.
But yes, so we are. So it's something that I want to do. I want to go check out sports books, in different cities and drink and party there.
Maybe you just want to give your opinion on them. Maybe not review them. Who knows? I don't know. Jimmy's opinions on sports books.
We will figure out a title for it. But so that's what we're doing. We're going to Slaughter. Jose, Big Show.
I like SOBs.
Yeah, that's not
Or
bad.
something sports book opinion.
But yes, we're all that. So this was all part of the plan. This was all part of the plan was to stay here this long. It was all part of the plan. Nate Dogg 2-2 on Leafs and over. And Alfonso says hit the Golden Nugget. Yes, that's where we're going. We're going to the Golden Nugget, and it's going to be fun. So we leave here tomorrow morning. So we'll be there for the Final Four. We'll be videotaping everything, and
Come on, Garth.
Deacon says it's a good day you didn't take the dirt nap. Yes, I am not sleeping, but I did not drink last night, which helped.
I thought you were gonna have to walk home, or I guess I should say I thought you were gonna have to walk here.
It was there was a potential for that, but I'm here right now, and that's all that's important. Babano will be joining us here very shortly. He'll be on the program very shortly. Slatsy says, I think the real reason Jimmy's still there is April 1st. Canadians no longer need to do a COVID test to get back into Canada. We got Babano joining us here shortly, but let's just get right to work. Maybe you could message Babano because he.
No, I just haven't sent him the invite. I'm sending him now.
Okay,
so
sending him now.
It's
Okay.
my fault.
No, it's all good.
No, he's going to join in like 2.5 seconds. So it'll be great. Bobano's fantastic. Me and him, by the way.
Yeah.
First AL Futures videos coming out today at 5:30. Me and Bobano. This is when we were together. He looked sickly, but he was not COVID sick, and that's all that matters. So
yeah, that's all that matters.
Today at 5:30, that'll be premiering.
Absolutely, that's great. Okay, so we got the AL Futures video premiering.
AL East. And by the way, we are doing the West, so I'm making you do the West Coast with me. West Coast, best coast. I don't know when we're gonna do it, but we'll figure it out.
No, Bobano never had COVID. No, Babano tested and is all good.
Yeah, what a man.
Yes, Puzzler, Lake Charles, Louisiana. We'll be going for the first time. There's LJ from H-Town in the house. That was a wild game. The Bucks game, that we were going to be live betcasting, but I just needed a day I just needed a night to try to sleep, which didn't happen. It didn't happen, but at least I didn't booze. Denko says, do you know what the word is for vax for MLB, NBA players to get in and out of Canada? I don't, but it is crucial.
I can tell you.
What is it?
Well, MLB players, for example, I don't know. I think Xander Bogaerts, he had to get vaccinated because if you are not vaccinated, you cannot get into Canada. So
we were wondering if that would change on April 1st, and it looks like it has not changed.
Yeah, no. They don't give a fuck. Shout out Canada.
You have to be vaccinated to come to Canada. I was talking about that. I was going to be live betting the under in that basketball game, and the overtime Bucks Sixers would have cost me enormous. There's Mark Schillingberg. Thank you so much for the $4.99 dono, my man. That means a ton. Jordy says I'm looking refreshed. I mean, that's not the case at all, but thank you very much. So we have NHL that we're breaking down with Babano, and then we're going to go into NCAA basketball and the Final Four, and then we have Darryl joining us for NBA. So let's get right to work. Babano will be here shortly, but we start with my first bet. 7 p.m. Eastern, Nashville Predators 39-24-4, 18-13-4 on the road at the Buffalo Sabres 24-33-11, 12-16-6 at home. KeyBank Center in Buffalo, New York. UC Saros has been so good this year. So good. I believe he's 56 games, 56 out of the 67 games that this team has played. I believe that, he's just been a workhorse for them this year. Going up against Craig Anderson. Again, I had the goalies from last night, so if there's anything wrong, let me know. Viper says you need to eat real food, not grilled cheese. That's why. Look, I get it.
That might be true, yeah. Well, unfortunately, our third man, the Menage in Artois, is leaving us. So I was going to take you guys out to a nice lunch, but I guess not.
Who? Oh, Gokster.
Yeah, the Menage to Artois.
Yeah, I had to take a second to put that together because, it's sad he's leaving. He's the last man standing. But Brizzy's still here, so he's not fully the last man standing.
No, yeah, it's a big show. Shout out to him. And by the way, Gokster did a great job at the golf tournament.
Oh, nice. Did he film a bunch?
Yeah, it was funny. He had a good time.
Oh, I can't wait to see all that he filmed. Mark Schillingberg, love you, man. He says, thank you, Jimmy PSR. I've had some bad days and got through the storm. I have you guys to thank for being friends, helping me through this. Finally back comfortably in the black. I love hearing that. Dennis Garcia is on Buffalo money line. I like that you're on Buffalo money line, Dennis. I got nervous. I shouldn't have, but I took the first period just because that's sleepy. I mean, back in the old days in the auditorium, it was not sleepy, but now in the KeyBank Center in Buffalo, New York, it is sleepy. Let's just check it. Okay, we're good. Babano is ready to go. There's been a move towards the Predators. It was plus 170. The Sabres were plus 170 when I moved on them first period at plus 140, which is where they are now. But they opened at plus 146, and people moved on the Nashville Predators. Let's bring in your first guest. Is Rodney Barton ready to go? Dutch Boy Fresh also in the house. Let's bring on your was that a hold off? Okay, let's bring on your first guest. He partied with us all week. He's beloved here by all of us, and he's now back in Hamilton, where I'm imagining it's snowing right now. Please welcome to the show, Ian Cameron. Ian, how are you, my man?
Hey, Jimmy, what's up? It's good to be with you. Back home now, of course, back in the office space. And, it is a shame that the warm weather's gone and we're still picking up the pieces. We're still trying to get back to full 100% regular health. There's still the cough going around, sore throat, all that. But we're getting better. And being back on the show with you today is good. And, man, I can't say enough about the week we just had in San Antonio. It was awesome the entire week. Amazing group of people. Just partying, drinking, just betting shit, the board every single night, going to the basketball games, whether it was the NCAA tournament, whether it was the Memphis-San Antonio game the other night, which came down to the wire. We single-handedly saved basically a business and an operation as well at Retama. We saved them basically over the last weekend with what we did there as well. It's a feel-good story, guys. I mean, really. I mean, we basically breathe new life into someone's operation, and I think we should really take some serious pleasure in that.
We did drink a lot there. That's funny. That's funny stuff. Well, man, it's always a pleasure to hang out with you, Babano, and everybody loved hanging out with you, man. You're magic. Christopher, same business with our Jager bombs.
Magic on the mic, too. The karaoke was fun. I just wish I could have done it another night, but vocal cords would not allow. They stepped in and said, no, that's enough for you. You've had enough.
Yeah, but you delivered the magic, and we all saw it. A lot of people thought the funniest that you were was the morning show we did together with the Kraken. Kraken attacking, and you were very, very funny. I don't remember much of it, to be honest with you, because the Kraken got to me as well. But we gotta get to work. We're starting with my first bet of the day, and that is Sabres first period at plus 140. Dennis Garcia is on Sabres full game at plus 170. We've already discussed Saros and what a workhorse he's been going up against Craig Anderson. Nashville power play 24.2%, penalty killing 79.7%. Buffalo power play 19.3%, penalty killing 75.1%. There has been a market move towards Nashville. They open up at minus 178. They're up to minus 200. And let me just get the total up here quickly. From a total look, they open up at 5.5. They're now at 6. And of course, FanDuel hanging the 6.5, as they love to do. Predators coming off their second straight win, 4-1 at home over the Senators on Tuesday night. Yossi, what a spectacular hockey player he is. So he is held off the score sheet last game, but he had a 13-game point scoring streak. That's the second longest in Predator franchise history, and he had 28 points over those 13 games. 28 points. Bobby Orr? Jesus. Now, I don't believe in Nashville. And yes, they beat. I think Saros is a huge part. Yossi and Saros, such big parts of this operation. I do not trust their forwards. They were outshot 37-32 by the Senators, but they're 9-4-0 in their last 13 games. Sabres coming off their third loss in 4 games, losing at home to Winnipeg on Wednesday, 3-2 in a shootout. But that doesn't tell the whole story. They've lost those 3 games after regulation. So 6 of their last 7 games have gone beyond regulation. And they're 6-1-3 over their last 10. So, yes, they've lost 3 of 4, but they're on a 7-game point streak, 4-0-3 over that span. I moved on the Sabres first period. But, Bono, are you moving on Predator Sabres?
Yeah, I'm on Buffalo first period as well, and full game split in this game. Plus 140 is the first period that you can find with Buffalo, and plus looks like 170. Yeah, plus 170s are out there. with Buffalo in terms of the full game money line right now at Bet365, among others. So, no, I continue to think there is value on the Buffalo Sabres right now. This team is not one of those bottom feeders that is just mailing it in down the stretch of the season. This is a team still playing some pretty good hockey right now, competitive hockey every night. I like the way we're seeing, of course, a lot of their players stepping up offensively. We've talked about Tuck Skinner and Thompson for a while. We've talked about middle stats back now. Kyle Okposo's been scoring a bit. They're getting contributions from Dahlin, among others, on the blue line. The goaltending's good enough from Anderson and Tokarski right now. They're in every game. There's no quit. Look at the Chicago game last week. Earlier this week, I should say. Look at that Chicago game where they're down 4-0. You know how easy it could be to say it's not our night, let's move on to the next one. They didn't do that. They came back. They tied the game. They ended up winning that game. They are an undervalued squad right now. And to make this an even better, I think, situational bet for Buffalo, this is Rick Jeanneret night in Buffalo. They're honoring the legendary Sabres voice who's been there since 1971, who's had an unbelievable career. He's the reason I grew up a Sabres fan. They're going to raise a banner and do a ceremony pregame honoring the legend that is Rick Jeanneret. And that is definitely going to be a significant deal. From what I've read, it means that we are going to see a much greater attendance tonight for this game in Buffalo, which, look, let's be honest, this is a team that's had trouble getting the fans in the seats. You know, for obvious reasons. They've not been good for the last several years. But I think tonight, I don't know if it's going to be sold out, but boy, it's going to be close to full. I'm pretty sure it's actually going to be full because that's how revered Rick Jeanneret is, as he should be. The guy is an absolute beauty in terms of a broadcaster for this team for all these decades. And I think it's going to lead to a charged up, energized atmosphere, and it will filter through right onto the ice surface for the opening puck drop for this Buffalo Sabres team tonight. So very much, I believe we have a very live home underdog here tonight. And I also like the game over the total. Both teams trending that way right now. So Buffalo first period, Buffalo money line, over 6. And you know what I'm also doing? I'm sprinkling on the draw because I am worried that maybe Nashville would win an overtime or a shootout. Look at Buffalo's recent games. I think all but one of their last 6 or 7 games have gone to overtime or a shootout. And the draw is plus 356 at Pinnacle. And I've been looking in this direction with Buffalo games for a while. They just play very tight games. A lot of them have gone beyond regulation. So if you're interested in the draw, I think it's a worthy bet at plus 356 as well.
The Sabres team total being offered to me over 2.5 minus 135. It's a little bit too much juice, but I like it. What are you making official here? You also, because you have Buffalo first at plus 140, just for my record keeping. You have full game at plus 170. Do you also want the over 6?
Yep.
And the sprinkle on the draw is not going to be part of the official action?
No.
Okay.
No, that's going to be a smaller bet. Yep.
All right, let's lock that in over 6. I'm going to line shop for you. Let's get Pinnacle and some other books up here so we can get you a nice number. All right, Babano is locked in with this first game, and I've only got the plus 140. I didn't know it was Rick's night, and Gary's like, yeah, it's going to be full. And look at that. Talk about, I got to open up a bookmaker account. Sabres team total over 2.5 is at minus 108 there.
This is not, by the way, he's not calling the game tonight because they're honoring him, so he's not actually calling tonight's game. He's his last game, of course, will be the last regular season game for the Sabres, but I guess they picked tonight to do the official. Let's give Rick Jeanneret his big tribute, his big ceremony just before he retires.
Westgate has that team total over 2.5 at minus 106.
I mean, let's be honest, Jimmy. Rick Jeanneret's been the only reason to watch a Sabres game for the last 5-10 years, to be quite honest. But
the pandemic is the reason why I haven't seen 20 of them in the last 2 years. I love going down there. I love parking at the casino for free and getting that little voucher for the casino. I love how they do it there. I love that bar. That's the area code, named after the area code. That sports bar right there, I think is a great place to have some, drinks and some food before the game. I would prefer going to Sabres games over Leafs games because the Leafs games are so expensive that you're like, am I really getting value? And then you look at all these suits around you and like, am I getting value here? You go down to a Sabres game. I mean, I remember I had the over against Flames Sabres. And so the Sabres scored 2 goals not early and I'm losing my mind. Then the Flames score and I start freaking out and everyone's like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? And I had to explain that I was on the over 6. They scored an empty net goal to give me the over 6, give me the over 5.5, and I lost my shit. There's like, 7,000 people left in the arena, and I'm just losing it.
What's the hottest ticket in Canada? What's the hardest ticket to get for a sporting event? Is it the Raptors? Is it the Maple Leafs? Who is it?
It's the Leafs.
By far?
By far. But I mean, I would go when LeBron would come to town, but before I went down to Costa Rica, when LeBron would come to town, it would be cheaper for us to drive to Cleveland, get a hotel for the night, and watch LeBron down there. And that's what we would do. So, Raptors are expensive as well. Jimmy orders grilled cheese when he gets there. I fear, I don't know what I was doing. I was pretty lit up, but I fear this grilled cheese thing is going to fucking haunt my career.
Yeah, it was hilarious. Let me tell you, you were just a little child after those grilled cheese.
Love them some Southtown 101 grilled cheese.
I just need a half. It's fine. I just need a half.
Oh God, I'm not going to watch back any of these shows. Okay, Babano has tripled up. First period plus 140, full game plus 170, over 6 at minus 116. He's sprinkling, not officially, but he's sprinkling his own on the draw. I am just on the first period at plus 140. All right, we move on. Next up, Babano, 7 p.m. Eastern, Chicago Blackhawks, 24, 33, and 10. Oh, God, just one night off the sauce, and I feel so much better. I didn't even sleep last night, but I feel so much better. 24, 33, and 10, 13, 16, and 5 on the road at Tampa Bay Lightning, 42, 18, and 6, 26, and 4 at home at Amalie Arena in Tampa, Florida. Kevin Lankinen going up against Andrei Vasilevsky. Lankinen 4, 9, and 5, 3.63 goals against average, 886 save percentage, no shutouts, and he is a bum. Vasilevsky is another workhorse. He's not having a spectacular year, but he's a workhorse and consistent. 34, 14, and 4, 2.37 goals against average, 919 save percentage, and 2 shutouts. Chicago power play 21%, penalty killing 75.5%. Tampa 21.7%, penalty killing 81.5%. Let's take a look at by the way, I got the over 6 at minus 116 for Babano in the Buffalo game. That was at Pinnacle. I should pull up Circa, but if anybody can beat that, please let me know. We want to keep the VIG down as much as possible. For this Blackhawks spot, they open up as plus 235 dogs, and it goes up to plus 300. The Lightning at minus 295 are minus 385 at FanDuel. This total at 6.5 was juiced to the over, and it's come back. So there's been about a 10-cent move towards the under. And Sogard confirmed in net for the Sens. Wow, Billy, I did not know that. Thank you for the heads up there. Blackhawks on the second half of back-to-back after losing 4-0 at Florida last night. And they're in this. I mean, I was like, when I read the stat, I was like, how do I not know this? What kind of fucking NHL gambler are you? They're 1-9-2 in the first of a back-to-back situation this year. 1-9-2. They are 3-5-3 in the second of consecutive games. They've allowed at least 4 goals in each of their last 3 games, an average of 4.3 goals. And D'Elia was fine last night. He was fine. It wasn't on him. Like he made some big saves. He's made over 40 saves. The Lightning coming off their third straight win, 4-3 at home over the Hurricanes on Tuesday night. Stamkos scored the winner, 11th career overtime goal to break the franchise record. Look, this Lightning team is rolling. In saying that, I don't know how to make money off this spot. You know, I mean, what do? You use a parlay piece? I mean, I don't know. What do you do here, Babano?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely lean over a little bit, but I'm concerned about whether Chicago is going to help me out, with that total. Kind of like last night where it was 4-0 Florida. Chicago got shut out. That could easily happen tonight for the Blackhawks against the Lightning. I think Tampa definitely gets the victory. Tampa, by the way, a much-needed win for them. Not much needed, but Carolina, they had struggled with them all year, and they get the 4-3 win against the Hurricanes in overtime the other night. They've now won 3 in a row going into this game. It's now a back-to-back here for the Chicago Blackhawks, and I'm really worried that the heartbreaking losses back-to-back that Chicago suffered. The Vegas game last Saturday where they're up, very comfortably. What was it, 3-0? They end up losing 5-4 in overtime. And then the game against Buffalo where they're up 4-0 and they lose 6-5 on just that fluke goal that ends up going in off the skate of Lankinen. And I mean, they seem to have hit a wall after losing those 2 heartbreakers, and they had nothing last night against Florida. I really don't trust them here tonight against Tampa. So I'd probably look toward Tampa team total, maybe a full game over 6.5 in this game, but I won't make anything official here.
Yeah, I don't. The puck line, I believe it was minus 135 for me earlier this morning. It's now minus 145. I'm not going to take a -2. So going to have to move past it. And let's move past it to the Ron Crawford spreadsheet play of the day, coming off another casher yesterday. And he is on the Rangers in regulation. That was a bad spot for the Rangers last out against Detroit, and they took care of business, still took care of business. And Ron Crawford going back, taking the Rangers here against the Islanders. So for the first thing I need to figure out is who is going to be in goal for the Islanders. Is Sorokin back from his injury? Do we get to see Corey Schneider get his last start of his career? Because that wouldn't shock me if Trotzy and Lamoriello were like, let's give this guy who's fought his way back, a chance. Or do they go back to back with Varlamov? Before we know that, how do we really find where is the angle with the Islanders if we don't know who's between the pipes? Do you have an idea who's going to be in between the pipes, Babano?
I think it probably will be Varlamov. In my opinion, on a back-to-back rather than Schneider. I mean, to me, I know that you got the sentimentality factor with putting in Corey Schneider, but, at the same time, there's a reason he's, been out of the NHL for a very long time. He's had injury issues, and when he's been in there, he just hasn't been able to be consistent. I think if I had to guess, it's going to be Varlamov, but you never know. The sentimentality factor maybe overrides it. We'll have to wait and see, but nothing's been confirmed as of yet. It won't be Sorokin, that's for sure, because he's not ready to come back.
Are you sure he's not ready to come back? Because there's a possibility that I read that he will, that he's not being ruled out.
Yeah, so we'll have to. It says Corey Schneider is projected. It's at one site I look at, but it's a guessing game right now.
Well, it's crucial.
Yep.
If Elliott says it's going to be Corey Schneider, it is crucial if you're thinking of backing the Islanders to know who's going to, or at least you're betting it because you expect X to be in net. It's too important for this game. Shesty will be on the other side.
Sorokin's out. Sorokin ain't playing tonight. So
okay, that's it
for sure. Yep.
Okay. Shesterkin 32-9-3, 2.11 goals against average, 936 save percentage, 3 shutouts. Slatsy saying Shesty confirmed. Islanders 20.5% power play, 83.5% penalty killing. Rangers 27.1% power play, 80.4% penalty killing. Let's take a look at the market here for this big game in New York. The Rangers open up at minus 142. They're now up between minus 170 and minus 180. The total opened up at 5.5, slightly juiced to the over. It's now juiced to the under. Islanders are on the second half of back-to-back after defeating the Jackets in Columbus on Tuesday and then beating them again at home last night. When they were up 2-0 in the first period, I was very angry that I didn't move on them. Then Columbus scores 2 goals to tie it up, and that calmed my anger. And then, of course, they put up 3 in the third to win and cash easily. The Islanders are 8-2-1 against Met division opponents since January 13th. But this is their third game in 4 nights. Rangers coming off that 4-straight win, 5-4 at the Wings in overtime. 2 nights ago. Andrew Kopp scored the winner. Now he's 2 goals and 5 assists. He's also a +5 in his first 5 games with the Broadway Blue Shirts. I don't know why the Jets gave up Andrew Kopp. This is a guy that I'd want on my hockey team, and he's been. You can put him in any position. You can play him on any line. He's Panarin.
Chris Drury bringing in Vetrano, who's been very good for the Rangers, and Andrew Kopp. A great trade deadline, and they needed some depth. Too much has been on the plate and on the shoulders of Panarin, Zibanejad, Kreider. They needed some depth up front at the forward position, and boy, they bring in Vetrano, they bring in Kopp, and they must be loving the early returns right now.
Kreider scored his league-leading 24th power play goal of the season to tie the franchise record. The franchise record held by, who would you think? I was surprised when I read who has the franchise record. You know who's got the franchise record for power play goals for New York Rangers, Babana?
Franchise record? No.
Because I was like, what is it, Phil? I mean, I was like, who? Jagger.
Wow.
Jeanneret Jagr, 2005, 2006 holds the power play goal record, and that caught me by surprise. Rangers have recorded each of their past 3 wins by 1 goal. They've won 21 games by 1 goal. Look, this team has a great power play, great goaltending, and now they've added some depth, and now they are dangerous. But take it away here, Islanders, Rangers, Babano.
Yeah, I like Rangers in regulation here, and regardless of who's in net, I'm going to be on that minus 110 at Pinnacle with New York and Rangers. That is in regulation. I like the way they're playing. I mean, I really do, and I like the way that they beat Pittsburgh again. You know, Pittsburgh was looking to really bounce back from that 5-1 debacle that they suffered at the hands of the Rangers, but the Rangers said, nope, we're going to take it again from you. They played great in that game. And look, that was a brutal spot against Detroit. And I actually took Detroit the other night, and the Rangers found a way, and won 5-4 in overtime. And that was a Detroit team that gave a great effort that night. It was a team that was coming off an embarrassing loss to Pittsburgh 11-2. Give the Rangers credit. They found a way to win in a tough spot, back-to-back situation. They were down at one point in that game, came back. I like the way they're playing at the moment. I mentioned Vetrano and Kopp, the 2 additions at the deadline, how they've helped this team up front. Shesterkin has been great in between the pipes. You look at that blue line, Adam Fox, Keandre Miller, they're all getting better. It's just been, and Gerard Gallant driving the bus in terms of the coach behind the bench. I mean, lots to like. Their game is improving. And look, the way they're playing right now, I think they've closed the gap on Carolina in the division as well. I think that's important to keep that in mind. This little run that the Rangers have put together, has them only 5 points back of Carolina for first, so they all of a sudden can think a little bit about, hey, maybe we can make a run for top spot in the Metropolitan Division. So I think it's eyes on the prize. They certainly could take advantage of an Islanders team playing back-to-back, 4th and 6 nights as well for the Islanders. They played a lot of hockey, the last several games. And to be quite honest, yeah, they've won 2 in a row, but both against Columbus. I don't want to put too much stock in that. The Islanders beaten Columbus 2 in a row. Anytime they've had to step up in class and try to beat someone good, they have not. They lost to the Tampa Bay Lightning. They lost to the Boston Bruins. The other wins were Detroit, Ottawa. You get my point. The Islanders aren't beating good teams. They just aren't. So I think the Rangers get it done. I like them in reg.
In regulation, and the top goal scorer in Rangers history. So when I was thinking Espo, I know that it was sort of the denouement of his career, but how many power play goals has that man scored? So that was my first thought. And the Adam Graves is not a bad guess from the Cappers in the chat. He's the 3rd leading goal scorer, 280 goals in a Rangers uniform, and the number 1 goal scorer in New York Rangers history, inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1982, Rod Gilbert. So Babano is on Rangers in regulation at minus 110, and we have there's DX Filer in the house. Oh, minus 109, we can find it. So let's take the cent out of that. Thank you for sharing that with us, Sammy Calmer. By the way, Sammy Calmer, 20 straight NBA winners. 20 straight. Wow. We have 20 straight NBA winners with Sammy Calmer, and then we have Rez Mob with 12 straight cashers across all sports. I mean, you guys are just running nice. And Ron Crawford is play of the day is on the Rangers. And Ron, that's just a money line look for you, right? That's not regulation. Please let me know that. All right, we move on to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Next up, Ottawa Senators at Detroit Red Wings. Senators are 23-37-6, 11-18-3 on the road. Red Wings are 26-32-9, 17-12-6 at home. We're at Little Caesars Arena, and it's not Anton Forsberg, is what we've been told. So I'm going to look up exactly who will be in net and get some stats on
Mad Sogard called up from the home of the one and only Mr. Gokster, Belleville.
Oh, man. And this Gokster's going to stop by.
Gokster is around, yeah.
Gokster's here. Let's get it. We need Gokster to come in. Gokster.
He's got to know something about Mad Sogard.
We need the Belleville point of view. How does it feel? Maybe Gokster could have been this guy if he would have tried. Hey, Gokster.
Gokster, we have a new goaltender out of Belleville making his start for the Senators, Sogard.
Oh, Matt Sogard.
Can you give us a little?
There he is. I knew he'd know something about Matt Sogard. There he is.
Hey, fellas, what's going on? Hey, how's it in Canada, Babano?
That's doing all right. Miss being there, but hey, back home now. Yeah,
that's it. So yeah, Matt Sogard. Wow, he's getting the start. He's a really tall goalie out of Sweden here. He's between him and Matt Mandolese. He's been the better of the two. But who's he going up against here? Detroit.
Yep.
Yeah, you know what? He's not too bad. He's still got a lot of work to he's not ready yet. They're probably just trying to see what they got with him. Sogard, he's he's not like a stud coming out.
Doesn't sound like a ringing endorsement there. It sounds like you're bumbling and stumbling, not really giving him a ringing. I'm just looking at his numbers here, guys. 2.87 goals against, 906 save percentage with Belleville.
And we got a really good defense too in Belleville. Like our defense is good. Like Del Zotto leads the way, and he's been an NHLer for a long time, so he's got the good defense in front of him. Still without Shabbat too with Ottawa there, guys. That's big. Still not having him. So I don't know. It's I don't exactly. You can tell I don't endorse it too much. I think he's got some work to do. Yeah, what does he got here? Where's his wins there, Jim? 16 and 13. Yeah, .906. He's got some work to do, guys. I wouldn't think he's getting a shutout or a one goal. I'd say 2-3 goals at least here, even though it's being Detroit.
Love it.
All right, guys. All right, good seeing y'all.
There he is, the scouting report.
I'm getting right after it, and look at me, Babana. We're wearing the same outfit. How about that?
No, it's not.
Canadians dressed.
You're a little more dressed up than this.
When
When
are you off to the airport?
About 1:30.
Oh, nice. You're here for a bit. He's gonna get fucked up before he goes. That's what it says. He's gonna get fucked up before he goes, and then give us a yeehaw. Give us a yeehaw. All right, so we have Mad Sogard, second round pick, 37th overall by the Senators in the 2019 draft, going up against Nedeljkovic. Good thing we didn't ask him about Nedeljkovic because he was on the wrong side of that bet that we had earlier in the year. 17, 28, 3.30 goals against average, 900 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Real Deal Prime says he's shirtless, so he's shirtless. Deacon Mike says, I miss seeing Goji surrounded by all those banners of losing teams hanging on his closet wall back in Canada. Ottawa power play 18.5%, penalty killing 80.1%. Detroit has a similar power play, 18.2%, but weaker penalty killing at 72.1%. This is the first of back-to-back games between these two teams. They play again on Sunday. So, it's nice to be able to cap and knowing that these guys are going to meet each other again. Brady Tkachuk scored his 23rd goal of the season in that 4-1 loss at Nashville on Tuesday. Ottawa, both teams were terrible in March. Ottawa 4-10-1, and Detroit was at NHL worst 3-8-3. Also, Detroit, coming off that setback to the Rangers, have allowed 6 or more goals 5 times in March. And that 11-2 goal, we hadn't had a team score 11 goals since 2003. Just ugly stuff here from both these teams. The Senators open up at plus 104. You can get them between plus 100 and plus 105. And this total, as I said, 6 or 6.5. Take it away, Bavano.
I think this quote from Jeff Blashill tells it all. Now, we know they gave up 11 to Pittsburgh, 11-2. They lost 5-4 to the Rangers. And look, they played better, no question. But this is what Blashill said after that 5-4 loss to the Rangers, where they had a lead and blew it and lost in overtime. And they still gave up 5 goals in that game. We gave up 4 in regulation, so that's not perfect, but I thought we were better in a lot of ways defensively. Way better. That's the standard now. 5 goals allowed is way better in the mind of Jeff Blashill in terms of their defensive play. So I think the obvious bet looks to be the over here with this Ottawa-Detroit game, especially with the, at least on paper, it doesn't look like Mad Sogard is necessarily ready for an NHL start as of right now. Like when you have 2.87 goals against average and 906 save percentage in the AHL, that's not necessarily the numbers of a goaltender that's maybe ready at this point in time. Now, we saw with the Leafs, with Eric Shalgren, sometimes with these kids that are getting an unexpected opportunity, they can get it done, and they are great right in that. And they bear down, and they end up playing well and tight defensively in front of them. But I don't know if that's going to be enough here for Sogard based on the numbers we're seeing. But more than anything, if you look at Detroit, they've been an over machine. We're talking 6 here, not 6.5. I think that's key. You're not getting that extra hook here. You're getting this total sitting at 6. So I think more than anything here, I'd probably look at a higher scoring game at over 6. I'm going to lock that in as an official play.
It's expensive. No, not here. Okay, good. We found a good price here. Circa is much the best price, minus 121. over 6.
DraftKings minus 120 as well.
Oh, perfect. Okay, let's do DraftKings over 6 minus 120 locked in for Babano. There's Canadian Capper being too long. Canadian Capper, what up, man? Great to see you. So Babano has locked in on the over 6 at minus 120. If I gave you a free $500 bet right now on a side, who would it be, Senators or Red Wings?
I'm not laying a price with Detroit. It'd have to be Ottawa.
Yeah, probably would. Son Dizzle in the house. Son Dizzle has moved on to, he's in Denver now. He went from New Orleans, came here, partied with us for 2 days, and now he's doing shows in Denver. It was great to have Son Dizzle rolling with us. All right. So people want Putin back on the show. And there's Big Show Picks rolling with us. Big Show Picks going to be rolling with us to Lake Charles, Louisiana here tomorrow. 9 p.m. Eastern, St. Louis Blues 37-20-9, 16-11-5 on the road at Edmonton Oilers, 38-25-5, 22-12-0 at home, where Rogers placed in Edmonton, Alberta. Binnington versus Koskinen is the setup, but will it be Binnington or will it be Husso? I mean, I don't know how you don't just ride Husso right now when these games are so important. I don't know how you don't, but I would love it if it was Binnington. This was almost a pick 'em, and I don't know how this was. This is what it says. Action Network said there was minus 114 was available. I don't know how that's possible. It's gone up to minus 160. I got in late. I could have got minus 145, and I waited, and I got minus 150. It's minus 150 now, but I took it on the minus 1 line, so I got a plus 106. I believe, on the Oilers. And I just couldn't help but bet the Oilers. And I don't know if the Blues are the team that we saw the last 2 games, or they are the team that went 3-6-3 in the 12 games leading up to those 2 wins over the Canucks. Their power play 26.2%, penalty killing 82.7%. Edmonton power play 26.1%, penalty killing 76.9%. Blues come in off sweeping a home and home from the Canucks. They won at home 4-1 on Monday. Then they won 4-3 at Vancouver on Wednesday. And they have this very impressive 13-3-2 record against Pacific Division teams. Jordan Kyrou didn't play on Wednesday due to an illness. He would return to practice on Thursday, so we're expecting him back in the lineup. Oilers coming off their second straight win, 4-3 at home over the Kings on Wednesday, but they've won 8 straight at home. And another victory would tie for the longest home ice run in franchise history. How the great teams of the 80s Oilers, the early 80s Oilers, didn't win. I mean, I'm shocked. How did they not win double-digit games in a row at home? I can't even. It makes me not even believe the stat. I don't know. I guess there's a couple ties in there. That's if they could have. I mean, it wasn't Gretzky who would have been their best shootout. Probably Glenn Anderson would have been their best shootout guy. Maybe Yeri Curry, but I bet you it would probably be Anderson. It wouldn't be Gretzky. I mean, Gretzky was pulled. Oh, we just lost. Gretzky was not even used in the most important Canadian shootout in history against the Dominator in Nagano. We didn't even use Gretzky because everyone knows he's just not that good at breakaways. He still should have probably been used if it's the most important game in Canadian hockey history. McDavid, 8 goals, 13 assists over an 11-game point streak, 100-point plateau for the 5th time in his career. And I took the Oilers -1. I mean, why wouldn't they want to tie the Gretzky-led franchise record? Take it away here, Babano. Blues, Oilers.
Yeah, and they've been dynamite at home. They've been absolutely terrific at home. I'm with you. I like Edmonton money line. I'll go with the straight money line here, even if it's around minus 150. I think they get it done. St. Louis, they beat Vancouver 2 in a row. Well done. But to be honest, they got outplayed by the Canucks in the game in St. Louis, even though it was 4-1 in that game. I remember I watched a lot of that game down in the bar there at Southtown 101 earlier this week. And that was not indicative of a 4-1 game. I thought Canucks outshot the Blues, outplayed them, had more offensive zone time. They just couldn't beat Ville Husso, who was struggling a little bit the last couple weeks. Then all of a sudden he starts 2 back-to-back games in a row against the Canucks, and he's starting to get his game back again. So I give him credit. He played well in both games, but let's be honest too. And we were there. We were heartbroken seeing the end of the rematch play out in Vancouver a couple nights ago, but they made it 4-3, and the Blues were hanging on for dear life in the final couple minutes of that game. We were all hoping for a little comeback magic there for Vancouver, but they ended up falling short. Now the road trip continues against this surging Edmonton team. So I like the Oilers here in this game to get the job done. I like the way they're playing, well-rounded. Koskinen has actually played pretty good the last few starts. They are still going over the total as well, especially at home. You look at this Oilers run in terms of overs on home ice. They've gone over the total 5 straight overall, but I believe in their recent home games as well. 9-0 to the over in their last 9 home games as well for this Edmonton team. So I'm going to add that as well. 6.5 over the total here with the Blues and the Oilers. So this will be Edmonton money line and over 6.5 for me.
Is there a chance it's Binnington tonight?
I think based on the schedule and the way it lines up for St. Louis, where they have to play at Calgary tomorrow night, there is a real chance you'll see Husso saved for that game, and they go with Binnington tonight.
And if they do, I'm going to cash. If it's Binnington, he's not been looking good. He's lost that number 1 spot. And but if it's Husso, I'll be very nervous.
I think they'll save Husso for tomorrow night because, Calgary right now is one of the premier opponents right now, or premier teams in the NHL. So I think they'll probably opt to give Husso tomorrow's game and start Binnington tonight.
Well, it will help all of your action as well. Oilers money line over 6.5 at -120. That's available right now at Pinnacle. Let's keep rolling. Babano's going to be staying with us for our breakdown of the Final Four games, where the Pub Sports crew, we are heading off to Lake Charles, Louisiana to the Golden Nugget. We'll be betting those in person over there and filming all that. 10 p.m. Eastern is next up. Vegas Golden Knights 37-28-4, 17-15-1 on the road at Seattle Kraken, 21-40-6, 11-19-3 at home. Climate Pledge Arena in Seattle, Washington. And this is another thought. Who's going to be in goal? Is it Robin Lehner? He was removed from the team's injured reserve. He was a backup on Wednesday. You have to think it's Lehner. It's got to be Lehner, right?
I would be stunned if it's not Lehner. I'm hearing Lehner's ready. Lehner's looked good in practice, and I would expect him to be in. Hasn't been confirmed, but I'd expect it to be Robin Lehner. Yep.
Billy said, "Did you know male pigeons produce milk for their young? Milk, not the other stuff." But no, there's no milk on my balcony. It's a different liquid, man. Grubauer. I mean, is it possible that Seattle goes with Grubauer instead of? I mean, if they don't go with Drieger, are they not trying to win games? I mean, Grubauer's been god awful, and Drieger's playing his best hockey of the year right now. So,
Drieger played well the other night. They lost because they couldn't score. It wasn't the goaltending.
But do you think they go back to Grubauer here? So you think it's Lane or Grubauer?
Knowing Hackstall, this could be a spot where even though he wasn't the reason they lost Drieger the other night. Like I said, they didn't score. When you get shut out, you're not going to win. But because they lost that game, if I had to guess, I'd say Grubauer tonight.
Vegas 18.8% power play, 78.7% penalty killing. Seattle 14.9% power play, 73.7% penalty killing. These teams just faced each other in Seattle on Wednesday in a 3-0 Knights victory. Me not being on Vegas in that on a -1 line made me extremely angry. They open up at -165. You can still get it at -165 at some books. They're up to -185 in others. This total opened up at 6 at the pick'em. There's been a 5-cent move or an 8-cent move, depending on where you shop, or less, between 2 cents and 8 cents towards the over in this spot. So we're going to get a lot of this over the next few days. And we saw it last night. We had teams facing each other after beating them. So back-to-back games against the same opponent. We've been seeing that a lot this week. And Dallas won 3-2 in overtime last night. But the Islanders took care of business very easily. So those are sweeps here. And are we going to get one here? I tell you what, I do not want Robin Lehner in that. That was going to keep me off of it. But what has changed with the Golden Knights over the last little while is now Alec Martinez and Braden McNabb are both back in the lineup, and that's a huge, huge boost for them. Martinez was gone for 53 games, getting the skate in the face. He's a +1, 4 blocked shots in the last game. And Braden McNabb comes back after missing 13 games with an upper body injury. He's a +2 with 4 hits and 3 blocked shots. You have those are arguable top 4 defensemen on this hockey team, and it's huge to have them back. Are you moving on this one? Take it away, Babano. Knights, Kraken.
So LA was in this situation where they beat Seattle the first time, and they totally looked past them the second time, and they got beaten 6-1 in the rematch. Can Vegas avoid that fate tonight? I think they might. I'm not betting it, but I think, look, you're always wondering that moment where a season could turn around for a team. It might have been that comeback against Chicago, because they're right on the precipice of being out of the playoffs or losing their second wild card position. They're down 3-0 to Chicago in that game. They come back. They win at 5-4 in overtime. The guy that scores the game-winning goal got traded away, and then the trade gets voided. Dodonov scored that goal. And it felt like a moment where if Vegas goes on a run from this point forward, it could be starting right now with that win against Chicago. And sure enough, they followed it up with a very solid, complete effort on the road against Seattle, 3-0 the other night. I get the sense a little bit that Vegas might be about to go on a bit of a run here. So I'm not going to get involved in the game, but I certainly would lean to Vegas. I'm not interested in fading them at the moment. And as you said, they're finally getting healthier, especially on the back end. And wait till they start to get, Pacioretty, Stone, and Smith, Pacioretty, Stone, and Smith back in particular. And they're also still without, Nick Hague and Brett Howden as well, who's been pretty good for this Vegas team. So they're starting to get healthier. I get the sense they might be about to go on a run. So it'd be Golden Knights or nothing for me. Nothing official, but lean Vegas in regulation.
And our guy Abel Alvarez looking at Sabres money line, Kraken money line, and Coyotes money line in a round robin but small wager. We all love the Sabres spot, and in fact, I might have some interest in Seattle if it's Lehner. And you know what? If Lehner is announced in, maybe I'm safe and I just take the Kraken first period. Ski, what up, man? Yeah, we're still thugging it out. And Kyle Hintley in the house. Thank you so much for the donor. Says his account got hacked. Been watching, but no talk. Nice to have you back talking with us, Kyle. We love you, man. Respect. Yeah, Ski, we're off to Lake Charles, Louisiana. Charles, Louisiana. We're off.
Have fun there, you guys. Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna do it up. We're gonna do it up in the worst ways. And we got Gokster on the sauce, man, hitting the sauce hard this morning before it's playing, before it's flight. I love it.
And you've got the World Cup draw here in a couple of minutes. Canada.
What? Oh my God.
Canada. Yes, you'll get that breaking news when it comes out.
Yeah, watch us get the group with Brazil, Argentina, and Germany or some shit.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
I think Canada's in pot 4.
Yeah, we can't meet.
So, but they do have the potential because I think they're the best team in pot 4. I didn't really look at them, but they do have the potential of being in the group of death.
Well, there's always going to be one group of death, but having that top spot is extremely helpful. Extremely helpful for the best Canadian team in the history of our sport. Sorry, Carl Valentine and the Lenarduzzi brothers. Anaheim Ducks 27-30-11, 11-15-7 at Arizona Coyotes 21-41-5, 10-22-1 at home. We're at Gill Arena in Glendale, Arizona. We go right from here to the Final Four breakdowns with Babano, and then Darryl Rice joins us to break down the National Basketball Association. We have Anthony Stolarz 9-6-2, 2.66 goals against average, 919 save percentage, 2 shutouts, going up against Karel Vejmelka 11-26-2, 3.38 goals against average, 906 save percentage, 1 shutout. Anaheim power play 22.8%, penalty killing 81%. Arizona power play 13.7%, 73.3%. This was I know it's a bum fight, but I found it fascinating. I could have got on the Coyotes at plus 110 yesterday, but I couldn't do it. Looking at their injuries, yes, I mean, obviously we have the bias of what they did to San Jose a couple of nights ago, but I was like, look, I can't do it. Looking at this roster now, Drysdale and some of these young defensemen are now playing, 25 to 30 minutes for the Ducks. And Drysdale looked really good. And I thought he played really hard against Dallas. And there was no Getzlaf. He was a late scratch, So they get Adam Henrique back, but they lose Getzlaf. They're on the second half of back-to-back after losing their 11th straight game, 3-2 in overtime last night. The Coyotes snapped their 6-game losing streak with a 5-2 win at home over the Sharks on Wednesday night. Look, Clayton Keller, broken femur. Lawson Krause fractured a bone in his hand. Christian Fischer has been out since March 22nd with lower body injury. You got other guys on the long-term injury list. They're such bums. I'll only mention Jacob Chikrin because he's the only non-bum on this list of 6-7 guys. I'm not going to mention Andrew Ladd. I'll never how about this will be the last time I'll mention his name on the show ever again. Take it away, Babano. Ducks, Coyotes.
And yet, even with all those injuries, I was asking myself, how the hell was Anaheim favored by as much as minus 140 on the road? 10 straight losses for the Anaheim Ducks in there. Obviously, they're in a brutal run. Yeah, that's a tough spot. I would take Arizona still, even with the injuries. Now, I know Chikrin and Krause, who was playing great when he got hurt, and now Keller, and that was ugly to see that collision against San Jose the other night. Definitely you wonder, how are they going to piece together this lineup tonight and moving forward? I mean, we're looking at Nick Ritchie playing top-line minutes tonight with Nick Schmaltz and Michael Carcone. Matthias Michelli, Barrett Hayton, Phil Kessel, second line, Jan Jenik, Travis Boyd, Louis Eriksson, the third line, Galchenyuk, Beagle, and Hudson Fashing, the fourth line. I mean, they are really, really up against it in terms of the depth of this lineup right now being tested. Still, I mean, Anaheim's dreadful. Anaheim just cannot find a way to win a game. to save their lives right now. Laying a price on the road with Anaheim, no thank you. I would honestly take Arizona before Anaheim here, but obviously I'm not going to make anything official here.
Yeah, I don't want anything to do with this. Let's go over action here. So Babano and I are both on Buffalo first period at plus 140. Babano and Dennis Garcia are both on Buffalo full game, as is Abel in the chat, and a few others. Babano is on the over 6 at minus 116 in that game. Blackhawks Lightning, no action for us. NHL spreadsheet play today is Rangers in regulation. Is Rangers money line. Babano is Rangers in regulation at minus 109. Then Babano's on the over 6 in Ottawa, Detroit at minus 120. I'm on the Oilers minus 1, and I believe I got plus 106. I'll have to double check. Babano's on the Oilers minus 147 money line, and the over 6.5 at minus 120. Vegas, Seattle, no action. But I think if Lehner is announced in, I'm going to be on the Seattle Kraken first period. And then nothing for Ducks, Coyotes. There is your NHL breakdown. And we move on to NCAA basketball, the Final Four in New Orleans, Louisiana. And we will be betting these games heavy at the Golden Nugget. At the Golden Nugget in Lake Charles, Louisiana. I have never been, and I am very, very, very excited. Let's start with the first game, Babano. At 6:09 p.m. Eastern, we have the number 2 seed Villanova Wildcats, 30-7 this year, versus the number 1 seed Kansas Jayhawks, 32-6. I am first somehow in all of the bracket pools that I'm in, but I switched from Kansas to Kentucky late the night before, and I'm certain that that's going to cost me some serious cake, and I do not expect to win any of the pools that I'm first in. Villanova has had a real nice run here, a real nice run. They beat Ohio State by 10. They beat Michigan by 8. They beat Houston by 6. Comfortable victories. Kansas Jayhawks also, they beat up on Texas Southern, Creighton, Providence. We have the Hurricanes they beat them by 26 points. Take it away here, Babano, the first of the Final Four matchups, Villanova, Kansas.
Yeah, this is obviously going to be a great matchup. Both of them actually should be. I mean, certainly this is what CBS and I'm sure a lot of the television folks wanted, a blue blood, big program type of feel to the Final Four. And they are going to have that here with these two games. I like Villanova more so first half in this game, which I think plus 2.5 is what you can get with that. I'm going to trust Jay Wright to come up with something that works here early in the game. Even without Justin Moore is obviously a huge loss for Villanova. With what he does, he takes a ton of shots for this team. He's good at the offensive end. He's actually very good at the defensive end of the floor as well for the Villanova Wildcats. He's had a great tournament, great season, really overall. They're obviously going to miss him. There's no question. A depth becomes a little bit of a worry for Villanova in this game without him. But I trust Jay Wright to have the team prepared early, to have a good start. We've seen them have first half performances that have been pretty good for the most part in this tournament. We haven't necessarily seen that from Kansas. Look, they had a terrible first half against Miami in that game. Now, they rallied in the second half and they took over, but they didn't have a very good first half in that game. I worry that Kansas might be too much for Villanova in the 40 minutes. They might get better. They might get stronger as the game goes on, and the absence of Moore could be an issue. And look, when you look at Kansas, they do have multiple players that are really starting to find their footing offensively. David McCormick had a great performance, especially in the second half against Miami. O'Shea Agbaji with 18 points. Christian Braun, 12 points for the Jayhawks there as well. They have a lot of different options that can really hurt you offensively. Going to test Villanova a little bit at the defensive end, even though Villanova is just so disciplined, so balanced at both ends of the floor, including defensively. Look, the one thing that's good for Villanova to me in this game is they have a point guard in Gillespie who's a veteran, who's experienced. He won't get awestruck in the big moment. He values the basketball. He's not going to really turn it over and put it in harm's way. I lean Villanova, to be quite honest, for the full game, but I think I feel better about the first half look, that I'm going to trust Jay Wright a little bit more than Bill Self, to be quite honest, in terms of the first 20 minutes, game planning, using this full week to prepare and get a team put in a position to have a good start, a good first foot forward in a game of this magnitude. So I lean full game, but I think I will only make official the first half, Villanova plus 2.5.
Let's lock that in for you and just discuss the market that we have right now. Villanova opening up as 4-point dogs. That's moved to 4.5. This total opened up at 131. We now see 132.5 and 133s on the board here. Let's just take a look at where the cash lies as well. I didn't pull that up yet, so I'm going to bring that up right now. We don't use it for what it came out.
The Dodgers just traded for Craig Kimbrell.
Wow. What was the trade?
AJ Pollock for Craig Kimbrell, straight up. Wow.
Ooh, they're loading up over there. They are loading up over there. Okay, so
glad he didn't go to Toronto. Thank God.
You know, I don't really trust him. I know he's coming off a good year. Look what he did 2 years ago. I mean, do you really trust him?
No, but he has his moments of being good.
So let's just review the cash here. 31,977 tickets in, 43% of the tickets, 66% of the cash on Kansas, and then 21% of the tickets on the over, 36% of cash on that over. You have any feel for the over in this spot, or the total, I should say, Babano?
Not really. Not really. I think it's Villanova's not a team I'm in a rush to bet overs with. And if you look at their tournament games, you understand why. They're so good defensively. They're never going to push pace. They've gone under 3 straight times here in the tournament, in their last 3 tournament games. Look, Kansas as well, Jimmy. 3 of their 4 tournament games have gone under the total as well. So I don't know if I'd be looking to make a case for the over in this game at 133. I want to also mention Caleb Daniels is the guy that's going to move into the starting lineup with Moore out. This guy's capable. And you put him with Gillespie and Jermaine Samuels on this Villanova team. And, of course, Samuels just had a phenomenal game against Houston last week. They could still find a way, in my opinion. And Daniels played well against Houston. Again, now he's going to get the starting opportunity. Keep that in mind because I think that's going to be significant. Caleb Daniels comes into this lineup, plays the way he did against Houston. That's going to give Villanova a shot.
I like it. Let's give you that first half. By the way, as I said, it's gone from 4 to 4.5. Pinnacle's not. Pinnacle's hanging that at a 4. So you're going to get that first half at +2 at -103. Would you rather have the money line at +141?
Wow, that's tough. No, I'll go +2.5. I think be a little more conservative here. It is a Final Four.
Well, yeah, of course. I can get a +2.5. What am I thinking? Yep. Sorry. Let me that +2.5 is minus. I'll find a good +2.5 for you because this one's -114. Okay, let's move on to the final game. The dream matchup: 8 seed North Carolina Tar Heels going up versus number 2 Duke Blue Devils, 32-6. The dream matchup for us here. Let me just pull up the situation. We have North Carolina opening up at +4.5. That's dropped to 4. And PointsBet has just dropped it to 3.5. This total opened up at 150, and it's creeped up to 151 and to 151.5. And then let's get the live action here. 29,355 tickets in. 62% of the tickets, 78% of the cash on the North Carolina Tar Heels. And we have 54% of tickets on the over, but just 31% of cash, which is interesting. Watching it creep up, and the bigger bets are coming in on the under. Take it away here, Babano. North Carolina, Duke Blue Devils, dream matchup.
Yeah, I think this is, for me, from a side perspective, I think it's tricky. Duke is peaking at the right time. There's no doubt. Their game keeps getting better, and we've seen it here in the tournament from this Duke team. I don't think they played great down the stretch of the ACC regular season or in the ACC tournament necessarily. But here in the NCAA tournament, look, 3 straight point spread covers along with victories. Michigan State, Texas Tech, That was a very impressive win. And look, they got the stops down the stretch to close that game out. Same with Arkansas. Arkansas made a run, but Duke made the key stops down the stretch when they needed them. And look, they're playing extremely well. And what's been great is that a lot of the burden has fallen on Paolo Banchero, but Wendell Moore has been good lately. Mark Williams has been good lately. A.J. Griffin steps up against Arkansas. Jeremy Roach chips in. Trevor Keels chips in. They've got the big and Theo John, who transferred from Marquette. I mean, they're playing their best ball right now, Duke, and it's not easy to go against them. Then you factor in the revenge motive, and North Carolina just basically urinating on Coach K's big night there at Cameron Indoor at the end of the regular season. And there is no doubt that Duke is going to want a little bit of redemption here. So, but at the same time, +4 is awfully tempting with North Carolina because of their size, their length, the way they're playing at the moment. They can rebound the basketball extremely well. And that always gives them, a second and a third opportunity in a lot of instances to get baskets, even if they miss the initial shot. They've thrived on that for years. So I don't have a strong opinion on the side. I think there's value in the number with North Carolina, but I think the situationals and just the momentum factor rides with Duke in this game. I'm just going to go over the total. That's the bet I like, over 151. I will lock that in as official. Look, it's Duke versus North Carolina. You go back and look at every recent meeting. It's been Overpalooza. There's Pubapalooza, and then there's Overpalooza. That's what it's been here for Duke and North Carolina. I think both teams have offensive advantages. North Carolina with their rebounding. They're going to get second and third chances and putbacks and layups against that Duke team. I do think they can match up pretty well on the glass. But on the flip side, I like the way Duke, multiple guys now are shooting the ball and have their offensive confidence going at the same time, which is good to see. Like I said, a lot of times, a lot of it fell on Banchero. But now that you're seeing Mark Williams get things going for Duke, now that you're seeing Wendell Moore start to make big shots for this team, Roach chipping in, Griffin chipping in, Keels chipping in, now that you're starting to see all of them really get their offensive game going, I think it's going to be a lot for the North Carolina team defensively to handle. And look, St. Peter's for North Carolina they just a towering size advantage for North Carolina. They took advantage of that. It's not going to be quite that way here against Duke. I think it's just more than anything offensive advantages on both sides, and I think it'll dictate that way in terms of this game going up and over the total. So nothing on the side for me, but I do like over 151 here.
Over 151. It's minus 112 at Pinnacle. I'll see if I can find better than that. Dennis Garcia has Kansas to win the title. Says Kansas wins by doubles. Abel is on UNC +4. Real Deal Prime says Duke. Says Duke's best game yet to come. Duke off to the finals. Isaiah B on North Carolina first half and full game. Astute Chaos on North Carolina +4. Andrew Carr on the Tar Heels. Top set North Carolina first half and Duke live in the second. Gerald Jones agreeing with your over. Real Deal Prime says North Carolina can watch replays of MJ pregame and it still wouldn't be enough. There we go. Right.
See, I feel I should be taking North Carolina +4. I feel like I should be. But we have seen multiple players from Duke's. They were asked flat out, who would you want to see in the Final Four? And they all said, usually you take the high road and you say, whoever it is, it's going to be a tough game. No, they all said North Carolina. We want them. And so, they're obviously just foaming at the mouth, this Duke Blue Devils team, to get another shot at North Carolina, who obviously ruined Coach K night in his final home game at Cameron Indoor. So, that emotional bent, if you will, is just to me, it's going to be enough to keep me off North Carolina, even though I think that number is a little too high toward Duke as a favorite.
But Jimmy, I think it's time for a say hey. So I think I've got two plays here for you guys.
All right. We got the say hey play of the day. We will always stop everything for that spectacular record that Jose has produced in the are we at the April 1st? Is this a 1-year anniversary today?
Oh, well, that's nice. Me and Jimmy's 1-year anniversary. That's nice.
It's today, right?
I don't know. But I have, I just learned something, guys. Only love can conquer hate. And I'm taking North Carolina over the Devil, Coach K. I'm taking Carolina +4, and I'm going to take the full game under 151.5. I just think that the first, let's call it 5-10 minutes of this game is just going to be bricks.
I was thinking first half under.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't hate that either.
So if you're thinking, because I hear exactly what you're talking about, but you say starting off with bricks. Aren't you a little afraid of the hijinks in the second half?
No, I think the first half will be so low that I think we'll be okay in the second half. Maybe a little bit of a sweat. We can take the first half under 71 right now, minus 110 in Bovada. I'll do that, no problem. But I just, like I said, I think both teams will come out tight because obviously all the guys are going to be there. Jordan, JJ, all those dudes. I just said Jordan, JJ Redick in the same sentence.
Stop.
Roy Williams will be there. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it'll be North Carolina wins the game outright. Honestly, I think they take the +4, they eliminate Coach K, and then they get smacked by Kansas. But I do think the first half under I'll take with you, Jimmy, if you want to roll with me.
I'm very interested in it. Very interested in it. I do think that there's going to be more money coming in on the over as we move forward. So, but I can get you a 4.5 at -109,
Sure.
and then do you want just the full game to be your?
No, we'll do the first half. You're right. We'll avoid the hijinks, whatever you want to call it. The first half is going to be a rock fight. The first 5-10 minutes, I think it's going to be tight. I mean, let's remember these are 19-year-old kids or whatever. I know half of them are going to the NBA, but it's still going to be one of those pressure situations against your rival. I don't think the shooting will be great, and they're switching to stadium, right? I mean, that's always a thing. So
definitely,
I'll take the first half under for sure.
First half under 70.5. I think I'm going to ride with you, and I think we'll be betting that in person too because we'll be in Lake Charles. So I think that I'll be sitting right beside you with that action. Do you want -106 on the under 7.5, or do you want 71 at -116?
I'll take the 71.
71 at -116. Say hey is in. Say hey is in. It's time to move on to NBA with our guy Darryl Rice. But I should ask, do you have any interest in the Basketball Classic Championship, Fresno State, Coastal Carolina? Or should we not talk about that after these enormous games everybody wants to talk about?
I won't be betting it. So
Okay. You shouldn't have brought it up. It's my fault. You don't want to talk about the Chanticleers? Okay. We are in business. Babano, I will review your NHL action again at the end of the show. But it is a pleasure to hang out with you in person. It's a pleasure to cap with you. You're beloved by everybody here at Pub Sports. So thank you for sharing your insights and thank you for drinking so heavily beside us.
Yeah, it was amazing. Week in San Antonio. Memories that will last a lifetime. No doubt about that. Great being with you, Jimmy. Darryl will do a great job capping the NBA, and I'll be back on the NBA Pub Hub later today, 4 p.m. Eastern. So tune in for that.
Pub Hub back in action today. There he is. There he's going to hydrate. He's probably going to take a nap and hydrate in the basketball. Actually, I know Babano, he's probably got more NHL stuff to do with. But there he is, Babano. We go from Hamilton, Ontario to Los Angeles, California with our NBA expert. It's Darryl Rice in the house. Darryl, what's happening? Oh, no.
It's that time, brother. Yo.
Oh, no.
Yo, what is good, brother? What is good, man? Happy to be back. It's Friday, and if I'm right, it's 12:30 somewhere, right? So,
oh no!
I feel good today. I feel really, 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 really good today. So let's do it, bro. Let's do it, man.
Usually, it's the gambling that makes my palms sweat. I think I'm starting to shake. I think that's
yeah, man. I'm with it. I'm with it today. Peace and love to everybody in the chat. Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate all the love I get. It's time to do it, man. I feel good today. I feel good. I think there's some games that we can look at and make some serious coin. So that's what I'm trying to do, man. I'm trying to win for y'all. Close this last lap of this season out, right? So I appreciate it. Astute, man, just the regular folks, man. Y'all, all love, man. All love. Let's get it, though. Let's get it.
Let's get it. You have upped the ante with
Cheers.
a glass of wine. Oh, yeah. Get it in you. Oh, no. That makes me like, what am I doing here? What? Where's my Kraken?
Where's the Kraken? Release the Kraken.
All right, let's get right to work. Darryl, Toronto Raptors 44-32, 23-16 on the road at the Orlando Magic, 20-57, 10-27 at home. We're at the Amway Center in Orlando, Florida. We had a great day in the NBA yesterday. It was a lot of cashing, and I should have opened up the coffers. I only had the Hawks -6 in the Jazz first quarter, but it was just a really comfortable day, and this one is much more difficult, this card, but I agree with you. There are spots that are ready to attack, and I've not made any bets yet, and we've been on I've made any bets in NBA yet, but we've been on a great run in NBA here over the last week and a half or so. It's helped me because NHL has hurt me, and the basketball has kept cash in my pocket. Toronto 4-1 over their past 5, 26th in pace at 95.22 possessions a game, while Orlando 1-4, 11th in pace at 98.94 possessions a game. Raptors open up at -9.5. They moved to 10.5. Then they moved to 11, and now there's 11.5s on the board at both PointsBet and BetMGM. And I have a vividness bias of the Toronto Raptors playing down to the level of their opponents. And it made me not want to move on them. I could have got them at -10. That was what I was first being offered. And I was like, I just have this bias. Not saying they're not going to take care of business here, but total at 218.5 has dropped to 216. When we go over to where the cash lies in this spot, we have 9,167 tickets in. 62% of the tickets, 64% of the cash is on the Raptors, and then 42% of the tickets, but 77% of the cash is on the under. So we've had big bets come in on the under. Raptors coming off their 4th straight win, 125-102 at home over the Timberwolves on Wednesday night. Siakam, 13 assists, and I almost wasn't going to say that out loud just because of another vividness bias I have of you hitting, like, I don't know, how many in a row did you have other than that Siakam assist? Probably like 18. Because in the Darryl, that was the first big winning streak that any of our guys have had this year, was yours. And now Sammy Culmer in our chat has hit 20 in a row.
Yeah, Sam is on fire, bro. Sam is doing it.
And Sammy leaning to Raps first quarter. And then we got a Rez Mob. Rez Mob has hit 12 straight cashers across all sports.
Nice.
He's number 13 today. So this Raptors squad's now won 10 of 12. 4 straight games with 6 or more players scoring double figures. Clearly, Gary Trent Jr. is over that foot injury. He went 6 for 8 from 3 and put in 29 points. Also, they're a different squad with OG in the lineup. He went 4 for 4 from 3 with 22 points. That's the 4th game since coming off the injury list with that fractured finger. Scotty Barnes, 17, 5 and 4. Precious Achiuwa, 13 off the bench. Van Fleet, I do think that knee is bothering Van Fleet. I mean, I don't need to think that. I mean, it's just clear, and he says it. The knee is bothering him. And then Thaddeus Young, what a pickup! What a pickup by by Masai, because we have such a young squad, and then Thaddeus comes out and he's a man. He's a fucking man, a grizzled fucking man, and it really helps. It really, really helps because we keep throwing out all these young guys at people, and then at least we get a composed, fucking grizzled veteran to come in. Magic coming in off their 4th straight loss, 127-110 at Washington on Wednesday night. Fultz, he's a Maryland boy, so he put up 19 points in 21 minutes. Those are season highs for him, and Wagner goes for 28. No Wendell Carter Jr., no Jalen Suggs, no Gary Harris, and Gary Harris was a coach's decision. He's healthy, but they're tanking here.
They're tanking.
Yeah.
They're tanking. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
And what they're doing, here, I'll take it. What they're doing is, as you could see, Casey taking out his starters and playing like his bench. He is not afraid to take his starters out, right? I'm telling you this. You ready for this? Are you ready for this? Give me Toronto full game minus I don't give a motherfucking shit what the spread is. You ready for this? Here's my analysis. I don't give a fucking shit. I don't give a fucking shit. So yeah, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fucking shit. I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is.
Ooh, right off the hop.
Yeah. Now, I personally got them at -10. That's jumped up to -11.5. I'm telling you, this is easily could be a trifecta spot, but I'm afraid of that first quarter. Right. So if you're afraid that the number's too large, you can look at Toronto first half. I'm not afraid. The number's going down because Orlando's just not going to score. People are going to look at that last game with the Toronto Raptors and Magic. It was March 4th, where Orlando actually got them that game and be like, okay, that Orlando should come to play here. But it's just, man, everything changes in a month, right? And I'm telling you right now, where Toronto is and where they want to be, they can. I think they're going to end strong. Orlando might just sit starters in the fourth quarter. Nick Nurse might just play 7 guys here, right? The whole game. And it's one of these spots to where Toronto is the type of matchup that Orlando can't really play against. And that is, these guys are defenders. You got multiple defenders. You got big guys. You've got long guys. You've got wing defenders. You've got multiple people who can shoot, and you've got rim protection. So I understand people might be a little scary of this game, may think the number's too high. I don't care. I really don't care. I got him at -10. I'm not surprised. That this is already up at 11.5. So if you want to take the 11.5, I'll take it. I just believe this is one of these games where Toronto is not going to let go. They've got a lot to play for. They really do. Right? Like, we were just talking about these guys being the 8th or 9th seed last week. And you can see what a difference just a week makes, to where these guys could move up to 3rd, right? Just depending on how everything pans out at the end. But it's amazing what Toronto is doing. So yeah, this is easily, you could, take some lunch money and do an alt line just for some value here. But I just believe this is a game that's going to get away from Orlando. I like the full game. I like first half also, but I am taking Toronto Raptors minus. I don't give a motherfucking shit what the spread is.
Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Swaggy D says Raps by 22. So I guess, look, and this is a problem that, I often, there's cappers that don't watch the games.
Mm-hmm.
They try to beat
right, more numbers based.
And I've often been jealous of those people who don't watch sports because they don't have the biases that we have. And that Celtics game, it just sticks in my head. It just sticks in my head when the Raptors needed Pascal to go for 40 to win in overtime against the Celtics squad that had nobody out there. And I've seen it all year. Now, clearly, we're talking about a team that is tanking, and we saw, Dan Kelly got us on the Cavs tanking, and it was the Dean Wade angle that I thought was a brilliant angle by Dan Kelly, saying he could have had surgery at the end of the year, but they chose to have it now. Why? Why would they do that? Why would they? Obviously they want to lose out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, that's why I didn't move at -10. And after hearing your breakdown, I should have. And Rez Mob says producer of the year, Bouquet.
Yeah.
So yeah, -11.5, -105. We give you -12 at +103. Can give you -11 at -115. But you got it at 10. How much worse do you want to take it than what you got?
Give me the -11.
Okay. You are in.
Yeah, give me the -11. What first half number are you seeing on this game? I'm seeing right now a 6.5.
And let's pull that up right now. Yes, -6.5 is available right now at Pinnacle at -109.
Yeah. I think, let me look at one stat here. Those are opponents' points. Well, yeah, I'm going to move on Toronto first half.
All right. So we have first half -6.5 at -109, and full game
65
-11.
I mean, Orlando just loves staying. They are in last place still with first half points. Last place, bro. Like, the season average is 50, and then they've had 57, in the last 3, so they're scoring, right? But what Toronto has done now, they're at 65 in the last 3. They're at 65. I like Toronto in this spot here. And you can obviously see what Orlando's doing. I'm just going to take a jab at it. I am going first half -6.5, and I've already got the -10. So if I would have took first half earlier, I would have gotten a better number. But I'm jumping on both of those numbers.
All right, you are in business. Ixnizzle has given us his action as well. When those games come up, I will discuss what Ixnizzle's on. He shared his action with us. But Dan Kelly, we'll start with Dan Kelly here for this next spot, because Dan Kelly, who so beautifully got us on fading the Cavs And so, you know what Dan Kelly's bet against the Cavs last night was, Darryl? It was Hawks -8 at +140.
Wow.
Hawks -8 at +140. And that, now we're talking, when you can find these edges and these angles and you take advantage of like that, now the word brilliant and shit comes out, because that was just as beautiful as possible. And now Washington +3 at +250. Washington +3 at +250.
That's what Dan's doing?
Is what Dan is doing here. And I would like to give a shout out to Mr. Dan Kelly. Mavericks 48-29, 21-17 on the road at the Washington Wizards, 33-43, 20-19 at home. We're at Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. Dallas 4-1 over their past 5, 28th in pace at 94.3 possessions a game over that span, while Washington's 3-2, 13th in pace at 98.80 possessions a game. I did peek at the futures because we talk about teams sneaking into a better playoff position like the Raptors. We are seeing that with these Dallas Mavericks here, that Golden State lost or ongoing losing skid.
Sir.
All of a sudden, Dallas is third place in the Western Conference. And Jason Kidd, that means a ton to Jason Kidd.
Man.
And then we go back to the futures. We moved on Dallas. We got 33-1 to win the chip. And right now that's at 25-1. So there's not been 18-1 to win the conference is down to 12-1. And I'm extremely excited about my futures action with the Dallas Mavericks. I just very, very, very excited. Mavs coming off their third straight win, 120-112 at the Cavs on Wednesday. And let me just pull up the market movement here with these Mavs. Sorry, pull this right here. We have the Mavs opening up at -8.5. Now there's 9s on the board. This total opened up at 220.5 and is now at 217 or 217.5. And I repeat, Dan Kelly, Washington Wizards +3 at +250. So Luka goes for 35 points, 13 boards, and 13 assists and 9 boards. Dorian Finney-Smith, 6 of 12 for 3. When Finney-Smith goes off, because you're adding that to Jalen Brunson and Dinwiddie sat Wednesday, but he scored in double digits 16 straight times, averaging 17.2 points per game while coming off the bench for the Mavs. Wizards coming off their third win in 4 games, 127-110 at home over the Magic on Wednesday. KCP goes for 25 points. That's his third straight with at least 20. And then Porzingis. I used to call him Big Dick Zingis. I'm not going to call him that anymore.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't deserve that title anymore, so he doesn't get it anymore. But he's been playing better. He went for a season-high 35 points, and I'm not going to call him that till he starts playing and playing regularly. And he's never going to get that nickname again. He once earned that nickname. That nickname is long gone. Porzingis' first meeting against his former team. The trade was Dinwiddie and Bertans for Porzingis, and he's playing his former team. But there wasn't that much history there. Take it away for us, Darryl. Mavericks, Wizards.
If I were to look at anything, it would be the Wizards' first quarter. That would be a look for me. If you have a number, let me know. I think you're going to see some energy in the beginning before the game settles down. And why I like the Wizards in the first quarter is we know how slow Dallas is. And on season average, these guys are kind of neck and neck. They're a point different, right? Mm-hmm. Now, Dallas has turned it up these last 3 games, and now they're averaging 32. But the Wizards have also turned it up to where they're averaging more points. And in their last one, they put up 28, right? So if we're looking at a low-scoring game, there's 2 edges that I see, or 2 advantages. And that is the Wizards keep it close in the first before they break down, but Dallas is in no way, shape, or form going to run away in the first quarter. Or you look at the under game total for the first quarter, right? So if they're averaging about 27, 26 points, and you know there's going to be a little bit of tenacity here on both ends, there might be some, this might be an advantage that you have to where you could see the game just being very strategic in the beginning, and then those adjustments start to be made, right? But in order for that also to happen, the game is going to have to be very, very, very slow, because that's how Luka picks you apart. So I do like the under total for the entire first quarter, and I do like the Wizards. What numbers do you have?
Well, Billy Friedrich has given us 2 different spots over at Bookmaker, which is giving us great numbers throughout the year. And Billy, thank you so much for doing this for us. It means a ton. He found Wizards first quarter +3 at -107, and the first quarter under 56.5 at -108. I'll compare that to Pinnacle right now, but that's what we have up.
I am stepping on Wizards first quarter right now.
All right. So
Wizards first quarter. I'm going to get in and get out. They're even first quarter, but in all actuality, it seems like the better bet would be Washington Wizards first half. Dallas is 3-7 in their last 10. The problem is this is the wrong team. Wizards are also 3-7, right? So I'm looking at 56 for the team total under. So that's one. Somebody's going to be 30. Somebody's going to be 26. It might be a little closer than that in the first quarter. So I'm just going to stick with Washington first quarter +3. I like that. I'm on it. I'm drinking to that because I think Wizards is the side here.
Locked in. Wizards first quarter +3 at -106. Let's move on. 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Indiana Pacers 25-52, 9-29 on the road. Oh, and I got -106 at Pinnacle. It was -107 at Bookmaker. And yeah, let's keep rolling. TD Garden, Boston, Massachusetts. In the Pacers 0-5 over their past 5, 21st in pace during that span, 96.8 possessions a game, while Boston 3-2, 19th in pace at 97.67 possessions a game. And Alex Gagnon giving us the recent team total. Wizards are giving up minus the Knicks and Pistons game. 110 to the Magic, 115 to the Warriors, 114 to the Bucks, 115 to the Rockets, 119 to the Lakers, 127 to the Nuggets, 126 to the Warriors, 127 to the Blazers, 122 to the Lakers again. That's great stats, Alex. Thank you. And then we get to our first spot on Nick Schnizzle's card. He's on the Celtics first half team total over 62.5.
I like that.
Yeah, it makes sense because even though the Pacers are a shit squad, Celtics have lost 2 straight and probably got to get right the ship. So that's a very interesting look. Let's see what we're talking about from a market perspective here. We have the Celtics opening up as 15-point favorites. That's moved to 14.5. We have this total at 220.5 has shot way up to 226 now. 226.5 at Bet Rivers and Sugar House. 226.5. Wow. Pacers come in off their 5th straight loss, 125-118 at home over the Nuggets on Wednesday. With O'Shea Brissett out, they had 9 players available. Buddy Hield goes for 20. Terry Taylor goes for 18. Badadzi 17 and 10. Halliburton 15 and 12. Celtics coming off their 2nd straight loss, 106-90 at home to the Heat on Wednesday. First time they've lost back-to-back since January. If they fall here, that'd be the first time they've lost 3 in a row since December. Let's pull up the money here. We have just under 9,000 tickets in. 41% of the tickets on the Celtics and 97% of the cash. So some huge bets have come in on the Celtics to right the ship. 81% of the tickets on the over and 91% of cash on the over. And we've seen it just fire up 6 points. So as we know, Robert Williams is going to be out for 6 weeks. So Tice is going to play a bigger role, and so is Horford. And they both look, decent in that spot. I mean, obviously they're not as good as Robert Williams, but Horford had 15 rebounds and Tice did 6 for 6 shooting off the bench. Take it away here, Darryl. Pacers, Celtics.
Yeah, something. This is wild, man. But when you cap, and then in capping, you've got to make sure you try to cover all angles because there's a lot of angles to cover first off. And then secondly, there could be some information that you just overlook, right? That could completely change the way you look at a game, provided you have that information. I'm telling you now, one thing I've overlooked about Boston is how great Time Lord is. Time Lord is a great player. Now, I've always thought that, but he had to be taken out of the game and then see how Boston plays without him for me to realize, like, yo, this guy's a quick learner and he's a pivotal part in this organization, right? He should be here a long time. This number I'm not afraid of, right? But I think Ixnizzle had, or whoever made the play of Boston team total has it right. I think that is the best angle to go here, right? Boston is not one of the most highest scoring teams in the first quarter, right? Indiana Pacers actually score more points season average than Boston. So now we're relying on Boston's defense to slow down Indiana, which they can do. However, a pivotal or a huge piece rather in that defense is Time Lord. Right? It is Time Lord. Time Lord helps slow the game down. So now it's like, okay, we know Boston can take this game. It's one of these things to where the safest bet is to take them full game because we know how they play over time, right? But what you do know is that Indiana is not going to stop Boston from scoring. Now, I was talking to my man Corey Dale on the show we did earlier, and he talked about an article he had read, and I wanted him to send me that. This is crazy what he said, and I might not have this right. Now, I want to kind of take my time with this. If you look at the standings, Toronto is 6th. They're 44-32. They've played Boston 47, who's 47-30, and then Philly is 46-30, right? And 4. So 3 and 4 are Boston and Philly. Do you know two teams who have not said or who have not given their rosters vaccination status? Boston and Philly. They both will not come out and tell you what players are not vaccinated. They're coming out and telling you that. These teams, under no circumstance, want to play Toronto in 7. They don't, because it is possibly that you may not have your star players. Now, I think the guy for Boston could possibly be Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown, rather, because of his religious beliefs. He and then there's quite a few possibly on Philly. And then there was a game that Boston played in Toronto to where Tatum and Brown and Horford actually didn't play that game. Right? So just kind of forward thinking and looking at these teams want to stay out of Toronto's way. They really do. So Boston is going to play today. And I say that to say that they should win this game. Don't be afraid of this number being so large. But at the same time, the safest play on this right now would be Boston's team total full game and first half. It's low enough now to where you know Pacers is not going to give them any type of defense. I tell you right now, Boston is the side. I've had a little cause for pause now that I saw them play their last 2 games without Time Lord. And I'm like, yo, okay, something's going on here, right? You need a part of that defense to stop other players, and they don't have it right now. But is Indiana going to stop Boston from scoring? Hell no. And so I do like Boston. I'll drink to that.
I get it. And, Ron Crawford says, how'd they play in New York? I believe that it's about the New York State employees. Am I right? Or
yeah.
That's why they play, because that's why Kyrie can't play, because he's a.
Well, remember the Yankees changed all that shit, so Kyrie can play in New York.
Yeah, but that's why. But that isn't that. You could play in New York if you were unvaccinated and you were working in a different state for
a different state, right? You weren't an employee.
Yeah, that's how I believe is the situation here. Ixchisel, much love, man. Respect. So are you? So, and we also have with Dan Kelly on Pacers team total over 105.5.
I mean, it's 226, right? So you're saying that the Pacers will score 105, and you know what? It actually does make sense now because you have Time Lord out of there. I'm telling you right now, this game, I only feel the safest play is going to be the play that's kind of automatic, and that's for Boston to score their points. I think their total is like 120, right? So it feels as what the Pacers are doing as of late. I don't know. I can't get a good read for it because they could try to come out and play. Some people say they are tanking. I'm just telling you, man, Boston's average right now is only 114 in the last 3, right? Their season average for points per game is 110. So yeah, they should be able to get it done. The books are thinking that this is a number I'm technically not afraid of, but I'm somewhat afraid to, pull the trigger on this one. So I'd rather go with what I feel is a safer bet. And I honestly feel that first half team total, full game team total, maybe a little bit. The first half team total is definitely a wrap.
All right. Well, let's lock this in right now for you. Popping up here, we have a Boston first half team total. if this book might be afraid of it. No. Yeah, we're good. The first half team total is 61.5 at -170.
Yeah, all day. If I'm looking at their first half points per game right now, Boston, that's where they do their work. Boston is sitting at 60.7 in their last 3. That's what they're averaging. And they're about to play a team that plays absolutely no defense. So I think Boston can turn it on early and then dial it back in the second half. Now, looking at the teams that they've played, they've put up 60 points and they've still lost, right? They lost the last 2 against Miami. You're putting up an average of 60 points against Miami and Toronto, right? And one of those games you play Minnesota, which is going to be high scoring. So I do like Boston's first half team total easily.
So we got a 61.5. It's juiced at -117. If anybody can find us one with less vig, I would love to hear that. Nutflush On says, when thoughts of tanking lean on lots of offense. And he also said earlier that Pacers trying to run like the Rockets were early in the season when you could cash nonstop team totals against the Rockets. Let's move on. We have Darryl locked in with the Celtics first half team total over 61.5, and we have Dan Kelly locked in on the Pacers team total over 105.5. Let's move on to 8 p.m. Eastern. Sacramento Kings 28-49.
Oh, God damn.
12-26 on the road at the Houston Rockets, 20-57, 11-27 at home. Toyota Center, Houston, Texas. Sacramento 3-2 over their past 5, 8th in pace at 99.65 possessions a game, while Houston is 2-3, 4th in pace at 100.50 possessions a game. And yes, this one is ugly. We have the Kings opening up at -2, now 2.5, 3, 3.5. This total opening up at 232 has gone up to 234.5, 235. There's even 235.5s at both Bet Rivers and Sugar House. When we go over to the market in this spot, 7,000, just over 7,000 tickets in. 47% of the tickets, 64% of the cash on Sacramento, and then 28% of the tickets, 98% of the cash on the over. And we see the move towards the over. Kings come on off their third win in 4 games, 121-118 at the Rockets on Wednesday. Davion Mitchell, 24 points, 8 assists. First Kings rookie with 5 straight 20-point games since Tyreek Evans in 2009-2010, averaging 19.1 points, 5.9 assists, and 14 starts this season. Rockets coming off their second straight loss, and it's just, KJP and Jalen Green. Jalen Green matches his career high with 32 points. Porter not gets his first triple-double, 30, 12, and 12 at 21 years, 330 days. Porter became the youngest player to record a triple-double in franchise history, and he joined LeBron James, Brandon Jennings, and Trae Young as the only players in league history to record a 50-point game and a triple-double before turning 22 years old. Darryl?
Jimmy, you said a lot. What the fuck is going on, dog?
I'm afraid to ask.
That was a grand opening for a game that I do not give a fucking shit about. I don't give a fucking shit about this game. Okay. There's no goddamn man. You couldn't even give me your money, and I play this game.
Well, bro. I want you to care about my money.
Yeah, so I just probably play something else, but not this goddamn game. Come on, man. You know this. I mean, we've been doing this damn near the entire season now. You know this. You fucking know. You know, Jay. You know. Next game.
8 p.m. Eastern, Phoenix Suns, 62-14, 31-6 on the road at the Memphis Grizzlies, 54-23, 28-10 at home, FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee. Phoenix is 5-0, 5th in pace at 100.31 possessions a game, while Memphis is 5-0 over the past 5, 6th in pace at 99.90 possessions a game. Now, this was wild shit, man. The announcements of who was going to be in the lineup and the market move. I mean, this was wild shit this morning. That caught me by surprise. It really caught me by surprise because we just saw these Grizzlies in action. So the Grizzlies open now. There's been really no movement since this morning, but the Grizzlies open up at +2.5, and now they're at +7.5, and there are a couple sevens on the board. And I was like, what? Yeah. The total opened up at 228.5. It's now at 229 or 229.5. So the first thing you got to do is go, why is this possible? And then you have 3 players that have been very good of late, doubtful. Tyus Jones, Desmond Bane, and Steven Adams, doubtful. And Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to be good to go, right? Do we have that? Let me just confirm that Jaren Jackson Jr. will be good to go. But that was a shock. That was a shock to see the Grizzlies not kind of test where they stand.
I think, hey, man, Taylor Jenkins is like a mad scientist, bro. He's a mad scientist. He's actually telling you something without telling you something, right? He's like, we're not going to give you the goods. You're going to have to work for this. And so I'm going to sit on my players because you know what? We know, Phoenix, that you're number one, we're number two, but we don't even care about you, right? Yeah. This would be a really, from a fan's perspective, right? This would be a highly anticipated game.
Yeah.
Right? And this would be a time for Monty and the Suns to really strut their stuff. And Taylor has taken all that shine away. He's actually taken it away. This is very strategic, and this is some get in your head type shit, if you ask me. Taylor is telling Phoenix, now there's different ways you can translate this, right? You can translate this in different, oh, well, Taylor is kind of just bowing down type shit. No. This is a game I honestly believe that Phoenix circled on their calendar. And the reason why is, did you see that when they had did you see the video of them working out after the game they had won? And they were all working out, trying to strut their stuff. Yeah, there's a little video going out of Phoenix actually having a workout after winning their game. And I want to say that game was against Golden State. It could have been either against Golden State or Philly, right? After the game, they're working out, right? They're all, you got the trainers, everybody on deck. The entire team is working out, trying to show you that, yo, we got our stuff together, you know? It's a flex. And then here you are, you got this game against Memphis, and Taylor's like, you know, man, we don't give any shits about Phoenix right now. We'll see them when I want to see them. And so, honestly, I think it's a power move by Memphis, right? Definite power move by Taylor. And now the Suns are really going to have to lay it on them. They are, right? So the more I thought about this game, I would have loved to have that Phoenix Suns -2.5. Right now, can the Suns go out here and demolish them and show them up for what they've done here with sitting everybody? Yes. But at the same token, I feel the number should have been a lot wider. The number should have been a lot larger. So because it's only at a -7.5, -8, actually it got to 8 and now it's down, man, this could be a trap game. So I'm hoping for a Phoenix blowout, but don't be surprised, man, if Memphis keeps it close. I would look at Dylan Brooks' PRA, but I have no play on this game.
Well, let's just discuss the lineup and Jaren Jackson is out too.
He's out.
Yeah, because after the Spurs game, he was listed as questionable for this game, and we were thinking they were going to be active. By the way, Ixnizzle says that Kings Rocket first quarter over 60. He says it's a tease. You know, our guy Tease out of Philly says it's a tease look, which we talked about in San Antonio. Says looking at Kings first quarter overs with the Rockets, and he says it should fly over. So Ixnizzle liking that first quarter over 60 in Kings Rockets. That is an interesting look, you know. So I like it. So let's start here with just their lineup tonight. Let's just talk about this lineup. So
yeah. Who did I say was overrated? I forget. Did I say Memphis or Phoenix? My memory's not good.
I don't know which one of these teams is overrated, but
I might have said one. Okay, I'm sorry I cut you off there.
You know, it's not overrated. So far, the World Cup draw, USA and England in their same groups, and Argentina and Mexico in their same group so far.
Ooh-wee.
Okay.
Well, you take it away. Talk to us about which squad here is overrated.
Well, THC Rizza is saying I said the Suns were. If I got to eat crow, then yeah. If I said the Suns were overrated, I was very wrong there. Very, very, very wrong. The Suns are not overrated at all. They are a solid team. So regarding these lineups, looking at this game and how good the Suns are, they should beat these boys by 20 points, right? Easily. And if you got the mindset of Chris Paul is that floor general, and he's the type of person that's not going to take this lightly, the fact that the coach is sitting everybody. And so they're going to show you and give you the ass whooping that you need because you don't respect us enough to put your team out there. But this line just scares me. It really does. I believe I would have had more confidence, and this might be weird seeing this, but if this was Phoenix -10, I would have had more confidence taking that line, taking that number than where it is now. And then the fact that it's gone down It seems like that it's kind of leveling out and we're getting the number that it's supposed to be. So if that's the case, you have heard that Phoenix does, like Philly to a certain degree, at times have played down to their competition. Not as of late, right? They're 9-1 ATS, 9-1 in their last 10. So is Memphis being 9-1 ATS. So I just think that this was a game to where it was just too many moving parts for me again. And I don't know how to cap a team that's sitting like their best players. I can't do that. So lineup-wise, looking at the Suns, I would take the Suns because they are going to play their players. But the fact that this line is so low, it's like, okay, what the fuck? Could Memphis surprise people out here? This would be the perfect game for the books to make some serious money here by this game staying close. So I wouldn't be surprised.
And that's what Mike M said. He goes, where does the line come into play with Vegas using injury news in the spread? How many times have we seen a team sit players and cover these numbers?
Right. This happened to a San Antonio game earlier this year, I believe.
Well, we just saw it with Raptors Celtics.
Yeah. So I don't know. If you think that it's a Phoenix automatic, I would be happier with the wider margin. That's all I'm saying. Then it is. Because the books aren't just going to, if that's the case, the books aren't just going to give you money, right? And we've talked about the lines telling you a story. So to go to a whole 10-point shift, I get it, right? But I mean, Memphis isn't playing any of their main guys. And their point guard now, so you've gone 3 deep into their point guard position. You got Melton playing?
You moved Melton from the shooting guard to point guard, right?
Point guard, right. So you don't have a true point guard on this team, right? Oh. But still, this line is still not on this team, but not playing tonight. Man, Chris Paul's going to have a feast, bro. Booker's going to have a feast. So it's just weird to me that the line is still so short. But because of that, I just don't want any smoke in this game. I could be overthinking it. Oh, well.
Yeah, it's this is going to take a lot more time and thought here.
Yeah.
So this spot here, when we talked about all the injuries, and we have 2 teams that have won combined 15 straight games. The Grizzlies are 19-2 without Ja, 19-2 without Ja Morant.
That's
and
crazy.
You have Tyus Jones, who puts up 25 points on Wednesday. You have Desmond Bane, who's hit 21 of his last 35 from 3, both sitting. It's just not.
Yeah, this is weird. I like what Sam said about 13-1 ATS against revenge games, and that's a good point. And this is one of those games to where I feel like Phoenix is going to really take it out on Memphis now, because they're like, wait a minute, we played you December, we lost, but now you don't want to even put your players in. All right, man, we're gonna show y'all. But it's just, these are all hypotheticals, right? So you don't know, and you just kind of sit back and just kind of flip a coin.
All right. I was not expecting that from this game. We thought this was going to be
like an automatic or something. No, man.
We thought this was going to be a nice showcase for what we might see in the playoffs.
Right. Before the lineup news.
Yeah. All right. Let's move past this and move over to a game where I was very concerned about player movement in this one. Let's talk about it. LA Clippers 37-39, 16-23 on the road. The Bucks 47-28, 26-12 at home. Pfizer Forum in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The Clippers open up at plus 8.5. They move down to plus 7.5. There still are 8s on the board. This total opens up at 229.5, and now we see 225. Also, cash flow wise, we didn't talk about it in the Sun spot. There's 9,948 tickets in, and it's completely even. Like 47% of the tickets, 51% of the cash on the Suns. Very strange. 52% of tickets, 98 on the over. But then in this clip spot, we have same thing. Very, very even. 53% of the tickets, 50% of the cash on the Clippers, except for the unders being hit hard. 71% of the tickets and 85% of the cash. Clippers 1-4 over their past 5, 17th in pace, 97.86 possessions a game. Milwaukee 4-1, 7th in pace, 99.72 possessions a game. Both teams are on the second half of a back-to-back, coming off emotional overtime victories. So the first thing you got to do is you got to go right to the standings and be like, do both these teams need to win this game? And the Clippers don't. The Clippers are in the play-in. That's not going to change. It can't change. The Clippers, this game is meaningless to the Clippers. Would the Bucks like the first overall seed in the playoffs? Yeah.
Yeah. You think?
They would. Yeah. They would.
Yeah.
Clippers coming off their 6 losses in 7 games, losing 135-130 in overtime to the Bulls. LA led by 7 with under 3 minutes left. And then the amazing DeMar DeRozan, the marvelous DeRozan, takes over. 9 points in the final minute and 36. And, we love him up north. And they love him in San Antonio. We were asking about him, when we were at the game on Wednesday, and he's loved, not the way he's loved up in 6, but Reggie goes for 34, 12 of 23, 6 of 9. Those fans of like OKC and the teams that Reggie just mailed in for must just lose their mind when they see him care about every game in LA and be emotionally involved in every game. Paul George goes for 22. Marcus Morris goes for 20. Batum goes for 17. Still no Storm and Norman, who is practicing. And your guess is as good as mine with Kawhi. Bucks coming off their second straight win on the road against Eastern. If he's coming back, then Dan Kelly made a good move on taking their futures.
Yeah, he's coming back. There was reports, and it's only because of podcasts that I listen to. And the main one that I really like, if you guys want to know a podcast that I like, it's The Mismatch with Kevin O'Connor and Chris Vernon. But Kevin O'Connor was saying that Skip Bayless was actually reporting that Kawhi may come back early. And then Kevin O'Connor, the realist, the real ones I was going to say is another one on the NBA Ringer podcast. They believe that Kawhi is looking at the Clippers to see how well Paul George is playing. And if he's playing well enough, then Kawhi will come back. Right. And so I believe that game that Paul George gave you damn near 40 points his first game back, playing 30 minutes, says a lot. And then you go to overtime with Chicago, right? You almost had that game. It wouldn't have been in overtime, but you would have covered from a betting perspective had DeRozan made that shot, that last free throw, right? So in this position here, I do believe this game means a lot for the Bucks. Where you have to look at is the Clippers actually come back from behind. They're like a better version of comeback than OKC, because they will come back and win games. They were down 26 by the Jazz, and they beat the Jazz. Now, that was more of a letdown from the Jazz, but they also put up 70 points in that second half game, right? So where the advantage that you have here with the Bucks is how well the Bucks do in the first quarter and the first half, and how well Clippers do in the second half of games. Clippers right now, in the last 10, mind you, they're not playing, and they have not played a team like the Bucks, are 1-9. 1-9 first quarter ATS. First quarter ATS. They are sitting damn near last also with Orlando in the amount of points they score in the first quarter and the first half. First quarter points per game, the Clippers are sitting 27th, averaging 21 points in their last 3 first quarter. Milwaukee sitting second in the league right now with a season average of 29.6 and the last 3, 26. I believe this is a game to where if you're going to take a great advantage, take Milwaukee early. Take them early. Take them first quarter and first half. Milwaukee right now in the first quarter, just looking at their last 10, Milwaukee is still in the top 4. Top 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're 5-5 in their last 10. They're 20-16 away for the season. They are actually better, 22-16 for the season at home. I like Milwaukee Bucks first quarter, Milwaukee Bucks first half.
And that's what Rez Mob is using for his 13th, going for his 13th straight.
Oh, wow.
He's on the Bucks first quarter. For his
yeah. Lock me in on that.
Rez Mob, who I had the pleasure of hanging out with down here in San Antonio. All right, so let's lock it in. So first quarter, first half. Is there any fear whatsoever? I guess there isn't. There's no fear that Antetokounmpo sits because they're a half game out of first. Yeah,
that it's kind of crazy to think that, but this is not a game that you can afford to lose also, right? So it is back-to-backs technically for both teams, and they're both on overtime.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be a possibility that Paul George sits.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It could be a possibility, right? So maybe these teams, they make their little backroom calls like, yo, man, hey, you want to sit Paul George? I'll sit Giannis, right? Don't tell me, man, trust me, things like that does happen in the NBA where these guys are in lockstep with each other. So if you see a huge roster move on Milwaukee's side, don't be afraid if you see one on the Clippers side and vice versa, right? I mean, I'm more inclined to think that the Clippers will sit George, right, before the Bucks sit Giannis. But don't be surprised if both teams sit their star players like this in this regard, in which I would still like Milwaukee Bucks first quarter. So, yeah. But what you want to do at that point probably is if Milwaukee sits first, you're going to see that number go back and forth. And then if you see injury news about Paul George, then you see that number kind of fluctuate again. So either just be prepared for this number to go up and down if there's sitting involved, or just take the number where it is now because I think it's already built into the number.
And Netflix says, be quiet on my first quarter. And it says my line's going to move. And he's laughing.
Oh, shut up. Netflix, come on, bro. Did Netflix take Milwaukee first quarter?
Oh, he's been cashing on it for like, I don't know, 2.5 months. He's paying for his daughter's education.
Wow.
Cal Baptist with it.
I want to meet that brother, man. I like Netflix.
Yeah, he's a great guy. All right. And then Resmom says Bucks play well early without Giannis. If that's not the concern, I just think that if he's not in the lineup, I would love to bet it still, but I wouldn't mind getting a tiny bit better line.
Dan's got a good point too, where he's going for that scoring title.
Oh, so but that means that he might rest then, because he needs to score 35 plus. And if he's a little tired or banged up, he's not going to want to. Like, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be in the lineup. That means probably more likely that he's comfortable sitting. I'm very curious to see. Diesel says Giannis out. No, I mean, that hasn't been announced, right?
What?
You're just guessing that by the market move.
You would have saw this game go off the books.
Yeah, there's no. Let me just see if I can just grab something here very quickly on Giannis, and then we will move on to the next.
While you look for that, Canada's pot is now up, and they're going to start picking from their pots.
Oh my God! Okay, can
Giannis is out, bro.
He's out. Yeah, that's announced there. Sorry, let's get this up.
That game is off.
The game is off the books, and PG's out. So we this is exactly what we said was going to happen.
That's funny that you guys just said that 2 seconds ago.
Yep. So this number is going to go all over the place. If me now, just not to make this official because I hadn't played it, I was actually going to play this while we were talking. This is going to be right before the game starts.
Mm-hmm.
Play Milwaukee first quarter right before the game starts. Just see what you're getting. See what your resting number is. What that closing line is going to be. He's saying Morris is out too. If Morris is out, you might get Paul George out of here.
Yeah, Paul George is going to be out this game. But
Paul George has got to be out.
Morris out, Batum out. Wow.
Paul George, okay, not confirmed on Paul George, but yeah, Paul George has got to be out then.
But we have confirmed on Giannis.
That game is off. You're not going to take a game off for doggone Nicholas Batum.
Yeah. So, but you already got in yours.
I was making the play official on this show, but I had not pressed the button on it. Now I've lost it.
Okay.
So if a number comes back up before, okay, Paulie is saying Paul George is out tonight.
Okay, no, it's still up. This is official here if you want it. It's still up at Pinnacle, -2.5 first quarter and -4 first half.
Let's go first quarter for sure.
Okay.
First quarter for sure.
Okay.
First quarter -2.5.
And the line just went from 7.5 to 8.5 at other books, but it's available right now at Pinnacle still. They haven't pulled it.
Okay. Yeah, let's go to 2.5 there, and I'm going to wait for this to go back up so I can press the button on it. Okay.
Okay, we move on. 8 p.m. Eastern, Detroit Pistons. Oh, no.
Come on. Come on.
No.
Bro. Okay.
Oh, no.
Oh, God damn.
Oh, no. At Oklahoma City,
for that one.
Thunder 22-54, 10-28 at home. I'm not going to look up. Paycom Center in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Detroit 2-3 over the past 5, 13th in pace, 98.80 possessions a game, while Oklahoma 2-3, third in pace at 100.90 possessions a game. You know, my man Gregory Wilson was down here on the trip. He was calling the Blazers. He's calling them they're the Portland Pickles. That's what he was calling the Blaze show. I think I maybe said that to you on Wednesday. Sorry, I just can't. Everything's a blur here. Okay, let's just take a look and pull this up here. We have
you've got to have a shorter intro for this, right?
No, God, no.
Oh, come on.
No, I put that.
Jay, what the fuck is we doing?
Oh man.
Okay.
Pistons at -4 have moved to 4.5 or 5, depending on where you shop. This total opened up at 220, now 221 or 221.5. This game's on the board. Game is on the board. We have line value supposedly full on the Pistons here, just under 7,000 tickets in. 54% of the tickets, 82% of the cash on the Pistons, 71% tickets, 93% cash on the over. Let's take a quick look at that over one more time. As soon as any team's announced or when Canada is, please jump in immediately. I can't stop thinking about it right now. I'm trying to stay focused, and I'm not. Let's get this Piston spot up. Apologies here. So that total has gone up. Okay. All right. Pistons on the second half of back-to-back after snapping their 3-game losing streak in impressive fashion, 102-94 at home over the Sixers. They outscored the Sixers 29-15 in the fourth, and 10 came from Saddiq Bey. Saddiq became the 5th player in NBA history to hit 200 or more threes in the season at the age of 22 or younger. Ant Edwards, Trae Young, D'Angelo Russell, and Klay Thompson are the other 4. And looks like no Marvin Bagley for this game for the Pistons. He's looked very good of late. Thunder come in off their second loss in 3 games, an ugly 136-118 setback. They've lost 12 of 14. They had 8 players available for the 3rd straight game. They have more players out on the injury report than they have able to play, and all 8 players have been in the G League this season. Okay. All right. This next game might not be any easier.
No, it is. This is an easy game.
Okay. All right. That is your Pistons Thunder breakdown. We move on to 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Portland Pickles, 27-49, 10-26 on the road at the San Antonio Spurs, 31-45, 14-24 at home, AT&T Center, San Antonio, Texas. Pop has become such a soft, loving coach.
This guy.
So much. He's just so soft and loving to these guys. Portland 0-5 over the past 5, 12th in pace, 98.84 possessions a game. Spurs 4-1, 20th in pace at 97.60 possessions a game. That was as much fun as I've had in a ball game in some time. The basketball game we were at.
Yeah.
It's just so much fun. And I had Spurs live at +8.5 and +11.5. And watching them come back down, 18 was extremely, extremely enjoyable. But now they're 15-point favorites.
Yeah.
And the total's gone from 231 to 230.5. 15-point favorites.
Jesus.
35% of the tickets are on Portland, on San Antonio, but 69% of the cash. And then it's 50-50 with the total, but 70% of cash on the under. Blazers coming off their 5th straight loss, 117-107 at home versus Pelicans on Wednesday night. They lost all 5 games of a homestand. They've lost 15 of 7. Reggie Jackson's also out. Wow. Jesus. So who is in there for them, you might ask? Drew Eubanks, Ben McLemore, Reggie Perry, Brandon Williams. Who's that? The Spurs come in off having their 4-game winning streak snapped in a 112-111 loss at home to Memphis on Wednesday night. They're now 1 position out of the play-in tourney, and they're going to get in because the Lakers are falling apart. They were down 18 in the 3rd. They ran that final play for Keldon Johnson, and there's something so magical about the finality of a team losing. It just happens so fast. It's like, did that just happen? Did that just fucking happen? And the Texas A&M fans will talk about it last night at Madison Square Garden. But when we watch Keldon Johnson, miss that shot, and then it's just over. It's just over.
It's over.
And it doesn't matter how good of a game it is.
1 point.
It's just the game is over. And the finality of that is there's something just so honest about it, and it's why part of the reason why I love sports is like it's just fucking over. You lost. Go home.
Canada are in Group F with
make it weak.
Belgium, FIFA's #1 ranked team in the world. Morocco, a good squad, but a squad that Canada should beat.
Beatable.
And Croatia, an older squad that should probably smack Canada in the mouth, but they've got a chance. Croatia, Belgium, and Morocco.
Wow. Okay. I guess that's not the worst case scenario.
It was not. It was almost Portugal, Uruguay, and the Korea that we like. So it would have been. I think that would have been tougher, but I like your group. Not bad.
It's not that bad. Okay. DeJounte Murray goes for 33 and 13. Kelton went for 23. Vassell went for 19. And they snapped that 4-game winning streak. It was 4-game road winning streak. What do you do with the Spurs as 15-point favorites? Do you just move on to the next game?
You take them first quarter. Right? I'm not going to play this game because I've got a lot of plays out there at this point. I'm at 2. I try to have a limit, right? But you take them first quarter. The problem is that we know we like San Antonio better as dogs, and we know we like them better as away when you're taking them first quarter. But this is just a game that just, Pop can chomp at the bit. Now San Antonio's back in 10th, right? It's like whenever the Lakers lose or win, like it's just they swap back and forth. They can win this game and kind of solidify themselves. This dude is just not going to tank. He's not going to tank, bro. He's not.
No.
15 points seems like a lot, but at the same token, man, I'm not afraid of this number. I just won't play it because I've got enough plays out there, and you just never know what happens during these last quarters and if there's going to be a backdoor cover, right? So San Antonio should get up. They should get up early. You're looking at 59.5 points in the first quarter. San Antonio is averaging 29.3 in the first quarter in their last 3, but Portland is averaging 30 in their last 3. With their last game, they scored 36 points. So we're going to have some defense of some type here, right? But I just feel that this is a Spurs game that they can just come in and dominate and, start to solidify that 10th spot. And just, what would make Pop happy, honestly, is to be the one that caused the Lakers not to make it.
Yeah.
that's my opinion.
Oh, for sure. No,
that's my opinion. So
what do you think of the first quarter? Because the first quarter for the Spurs are -5.5. What do you think?
Minus 5.5.
What do you think of the first quarter over 59.5?
That's the thing is they just took their last 3 averages to do that, right? So now you're saying that Portland's going to have to put up 29 points, which on their season average, not so much, right? And San Antonio's going to have to put up a little more than what they're putting up. So I think it's one of those things to where that line is extra sharp. And now when I look at these lines being sharp, I would lean more towards the under. Kind of weird. But
I feel you.
You're taking their season averages, right? Which is a lot different than their last 3 average. And so these games here, in my opinion, where I think this.
This could be fake news, LeBron, but he tweeted out about a couple minutes ago that he's officially out for the season.
Yeah.
But who knows? It's fake news, LeBron. It's April Fool's Day. Who knows? But yeah, he's a coward. Doesn't want to fight for a playoff spot.
Wait, what? What?
Yeah, LeBron.
The dude's ankle was on his goddamn calf muscle. What is you talking about?
Yeah, he doesn't want to be a man and play out there and get his team to the playoffs. It's not my fault, Darryl. You've got Anthony Street Clothes Davis too. That's not my fault either.
Street Clothes is a dope nickname.
It is, and Robert Williams has a torn meniscus. He's going to come back for the playoffs. I couldn't imagine LeBron doing that. Couldn't be me. Not my superstar.
Okay, no, he's not out for the season. He's going to play today. You don't see the games go off the books, and it's April Fools.
All right, we got lots to discuss here. 9 p.m. Eastern, Minnesota Timberwolves 44-34, 18-21 on the road at Denver Nuggets 46-31, 22-15 at home. And we reach Ron Crawford's NBA spreadsheet play of the day. Minnesota +3 is Ron Crawford's look here. They open up at 4.5. They go down to 3. There's still a couple threes available. Now down to 2.5. And this total has fired up. 233.5 opener, all the way up to 242.5, a 9-point swing here. Minnesota 1-4 over the past 5, 9th in pace at 99.60 possessions a game, while Denver 4-1, 15th in pace at 98.40 possessions a game. We have 57% of the tickets, 75% of the cash on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Then we have 60% of tickets on the under, but just 25% of cash on the under. Minnesota comes in off their second straight loss in 4th in 5 games, 125-102 at the Raptors on Wednesday. Cat just did not show up. And this is, everyone says, the Raptors can't stop the centers like, 6'11", 7-foot centers like Cat. Well, he scored 16 points and did nothing. Denver comes in off their third straight win, 125-118 at the Pacers on Wednesday, and now they have a chance at a top 4 spot in the conference. So this is a big game for them. They sit atop the division, 5 games remaining. 4 of those are home games. Now, this is a team that just let their foot off the gas against Indiana. They were up 31 points and had to fight back. They're hoping to get JaMychal Green back here. Maybe this means they're not getting them back because we have no idea if Jamal Murray or Michael Porter Jr. are going to make an appearance. Doesn't look good. Take it away here, Darryl. Wolves, Nuggets.
Yeah. So the automatic play it's been like that for a minute, is Denver first half. That's been an automatic play. They've lost one. I think that was against Charlotte. They pushed the one before that, but then they've just been right back on track. Right? These teams average the same amount of points for the season at 29.6. They're neck and neck. In the last 3, Minnesota's actually averaged less. I feel that Denver can play this game in the first half, and then Minnesota takes over second half. Remember what I said about Minnesota against Toronto, Jay? And that was...
Bang on. They don't care about playing Eastern opponents.
Right. They don't care about that. This is one game that they're going to care about, though. Mm-hmm. But you remember the other thing to that? I said Toronto can't play a slow game. Minnesota's not going to slow down. Toronto's got to speed up. Right? Toronto is going to have to play a fast game. And what does Toronto do? Put up damn near $130. Right? So this is the same thing to where this is going to be a high-scoring game. I believe that line is moving in the right direction. But in my opinion, you're looking at 60-point first halves on both squads. I do believe Denver can be there by a point, by 2 points rather. So I do like Denver first half, Minnesota full game. I'm stepping on Denver first half. What do you have for that?
Let's grab it for you right now. Nutflush, I'm thinking that this is going to be a big number put up by the T-Wolves today. Let's see what we are talking about here. Right now,
I've got it at -1.5.
Yeah, let's see what I got. I mean, this is down to 2.5 now, full game. Yeah, -1.5 at -103.
Okay, give me Denver. This is going to be crazy, but this is the first time I'm doing this here. Give me Denver first half, Minnesota full game.
Wow. Do you want a -1 at -113?
Yeah, let's do that. I could get a push here.
All right, let's move this over. So, Darryl doing Nuggets first half at first half -1 at -113, and then Wolves
full game.
And right now we got full game. Ron
Crawford. I still have Minnesota +3.
Exchange looking to try and see if we can get that at a better number. You can get the Wolves at +3 still at -114. Let me see what Circa is hanging here quickly. Circa, let's move over here. Sorry, 1 second, you guys. I got a couple too many things open right now. Okay, here we go. Circa can get you the +3 at -109. There we go.
Okay, let's do it.
+3 at -109. LJ from H-Town took the Wolves +4 last night.
LJ?
Yeah.
I like that, brother.
All starters are out for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Oof. There goes my Milwaukee first quarter.
Wow. The hijinks in the NBA. Ron Crawford, his 100th spreadsheet win last night. Great job, Ron Crawford, our
Great
guy.
job,
wow, the hijinks in the NBA is unparalleled. Let's move on to the final game on our card. Great job, Darryl, breaking down this very difficult NBA card today. Pelicans 33-43, 15-22 on the road at the Lakers, 31-44, 20-18 at home. Crypto.com Arena, LA, California. Pelicans are 3-2 over the past 5, 27th in pace at 95.2 possessions a game, while the Lakers are 1-4, 20th in pace at 97.20 possessions a game. Let's take a look at what we are dealing with from a market perspective. Lakers open up at -1. They're now +2.5. So a big swing towards the Pelicanos. This total has dropped as well from 234 down to 230.5. We go over to the cash flow. We have 8,360 tickets in. 49% of the tickets and 88% of the cash is on the Lakers. but the move has gone to the Pelicans.
Yeah.
64% of tickets, 50% of the cash on the under. Pelicans coming off their second straight win, 117-107 at the Blazers on Wednesday night, while the Lakers are on the second half of back-to-back after they lost their fourth straight game, 122-109 at Utah last night. Take it away here, Darryl. The final game on the card with this possible LeBron news hanging over the game.
I think it might be true. The game is off the books.
Yeah.
The game is off the books.
So he is
officially out. I still didn't give a fuck about this damn game. I still didn't, man. But yeah, at this point now, I'm not playing this game. This should be a New Orleans spot. But you do have AD back, who's been pretty much Charmin soft the entire season, right? Yeah. This is tough. I'm just gonna go ahead and take that Milwaukee L. If y'all haven't played that yet, don't play that game. Just let it alone.
By the way, Jim, I just want to let you know a little schedule update for November.
Sure.
It's going to be a hell of a weekend. We've got Thanksgiving, the USA versus England in the World Cup, the Iron Bowls that day, the next day, and then NFL Sunday is that as well. It's a hell of a weekend.
Ooh, my liver just shuddered. Just shook inside my body.
I'm with you, Jay.
That's going to be intense, man.
Yeah, I don't give a damn about this game, honestly. Like, if you're going to take a side, just blindly take New Orleans. They should be able to get it done. They have more to play for right now. If LeBron is not trying to come back and you have AD playing, it's very different if you have them both, right? This team is obviously not even remotely close to the same if LeBron isn't playing the game, right? But just adding AD is one thing. I think you need them both. At this point, I don't have a play on this game. Don't even really care about it. I probably won't even watch the fucking game. Yeah. No, I'm lying. I will. I'm going to hate watch this game. With some wine. I'm probably going to have some more wine. Yeah. So, I'm off.
All right. Let's review action here in NBA. We'll start with our guy, Ick Schnizzle, Ohio's finest. He's on Celtics first half team total over 62.5. Kings Rockets first quarter over 60. Dan Kelly is on Washington +3 at +250. I don't give a motherfucking shit what the spread is. Play today is the Raptors first half -6.5 -109. Mm-hmm. And Darryl's also on the full game -11 -115. Darryl is on the Washington Wizards first quarter +3 at -106. Dan Kelly is on the Pacers team total over 105.5, and Darryl is riding with Ixnizzle on that first half team total over 61.5. Then we have that first quarter over that I told you about in Kings Rockets for Ixnizzle. Nothing for us in that Suns Grizzlies game.
Nope.
Darryl is first quarter -2.5 -105 with the Bucks. But I mean, all of the Clippers are going to be out too. So I mean, I don't
know. I mean, I should have took my own advice there, right? But because those numbers were still up, I jumped on it. But you're going to get better numbers.
Yeah,
you're going to get better numbers. Why? Because the Clippers have been playing deep all season, right? Ty Lue hasn't had much to work with, and he's been playing deep in his roster already. So I think there's more familiarity there. I do like Patrick or Connaughton. I do like that Brook Lopez is back, but Grayson Allen, okay, yeah, but I just don't know. I don't know. If you haven't played Milwaukee, just stay away from that game. There's more than enough games for you to play if you hadn't already, but just stay away from that game. But I got to stick with my guns. They already made the plays, so yeah.
Pistons, Thunder, no action.
Hell no.
And Portland, San Antonio, no action.
Hell no.
Darryl is on the Nuggets first half at -1 at -113, and the Wolves full game +3 at -109. Our guy Astute Chaos is on Dallas, Washington first half over 112.5. Phoenix first half -4.5 at -111, and first half under 113.5. And Minnesota, Denver first quarter over 61.5 in Minnesota, Denver. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today in basketball is Minnesota +3. And then no action on Pelicans Lakers. And LJ says start keeping my record of picks starting today. Wolves +4 and Suns -7. And and LJ, I can send you some spreadsheets too that might help. If you want to. Record keeping is extremely important.
LJ, don't hold your breath though. I've asked for those same spreadsheets and
You don't have him?
No, Jimmy, getting you to send me anything is impossible.
What are you talking about?
I took me 2 months to get you a picture with your eyes closed. I mean,
but we did great work there.
Sure, yeah.
Great work there.
Now that's on the bell. We're on the deadline. It's coming. Here we go.
I just got to remind me. I can send it to you right now. Darryl, incredible job, my man. Thank you so much. Oh, we got another spreadsheet play today from Ron Crawford at Fresno first half money line play of the day. Darryl, love working with you. Can't wait to be back in action. Next time we are in action, I will be back with the Pigeons in Parkdale. And we did get a house though.
Nice, Jay.
We're renting a house. It's not in the neighborhood we want to live in, and we can't move in until July. So, but we got one.
Don't matter as long as you got one.
Oh, Ixnizzle says, please look at my message. It says, why not play it as Nuggets halftime Wolves full game at plus 600?
I would jump on that.
Would you rather do that with your Nuggets halftime full game bet?
And there's no line on those. It's just that's scenario play.
Nuggets winning at half, Wolves win the game.
Plus 600, bro.
Because right now in that spot you have. Sorry, let's move over here. Right now in that spot. You have first half -1 on the Nuggets and full game +3 on the Wolves as two separate bets. What do you think?
I'm gonna do that. Keep that. Add that play.
Just add it. Okay.
Add it. Yeah. Good looking on that, Snizzle.
Nuggets halftime. Wolves full game at plus 600. You're in. Follow our man Darryl on Twitter at It's Darryl, and I can't wait to work with you again very soon. We love you, man. A lot of good words said about you down here. We love you. So thank you for sharing your hard work with us and being a part
Appreciate you,
of the
man.
Sports Radio family, my guy.
Appreciate you guys. I will see you on next week. Jimmy, get home safe. Nice doing a lot of work with you on today. I will see you next week, brother.
I love it. I love it. There he is, Darryl Rice in the house. All right, let's review all action here. I'm on the Sabres first period at plus 140. Babano's on the Sabres first period at plus 140, the full game at plus 170, and the over 6 at minus 116. We are off Blackhawks, Tampa. Babano's on the Rangers in regulation at minus 109, and the spreadsheet play of the day from Ron Crawford in NHL is the New York Rangers. Babano's on the over 6 at Ottawa, Detroit. I'm on the Oilers -1. I believe I got plus 106 on it. Babano's on the Oilers -147 and the over 6.5 -120. And we did hear that Mike Smith is being announced in goal. And you know what? I'd rather have him really than Koskinen. Look, Mike Smith's not that good, but no, either's Koskinen. Vegas, Seattle, Kraken, no move. But if Lehner's announced in goal, I'm going to take Kraken first period. Ducks, Coyotes, no action for us. Then Babano is on the Villanova Wildcats first half. Plus 2.5. Nova there. And then he's on the over 151 in North Carolina, Duke Blue Devils. The say-hey play of the day is North Carolina plus 4.5 and the first half under 71. There we go. That was a big bad one, man. We beat up that card real nice. And I'm not going to, on Tuesday, it's going to be the Pistol Pete Loshak show. I'm going to be flying, so it'll be Pistol Pete.
Because this is our last betting with the bag in person.
This is our last betting with the bag in person. It's been very enjoyable.
And I can smell you from here.
No, I did shower.
I'm just joking.
Okay, good.
See, you hear the concern on his face because that's been an issue.
Yeah, I've told anyone, just because, when we're drinking so heavy, right? So I just told, the people close to me, I'm like, if I ever come up to you and I stink, tell me. That's one of the rules when you're drinking hard in the heat for a long period of time, is that you need some homie to say, if you stink, let me know.
Well, we're gonna go get some steaks. So let's wrap this up and hopefully get Gokster fed because he looks like he hasn't eaten in a couple of weeks.
He doesn't look his best. All right, I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support. Ick Schnizzle, Scott Lewis, Rance, Jay Peasy, the community of new knowledge, Jay Soul Picks, Nutflush, Allen, Corenzo, Eric Romero, Spliff, Kingsbury, Diesel, Ron Crawford, Razor, Sharp Picks, LJ from H-Town, Prince of the City, says Lopez out too. Oh no. Of Of course he is. Jared TG. THC is Rizza, Real Deal Prime. Gokster, you want to? Why don't you end the show for us? Why don't you give us a little leche and say what up? Last time I get to be a Gokster person. Why don't you take a little break.
Yeah, and we get to Gokster. We're gonna go get steaks. You might be a little late for your plane, but whatever, I guess.
All right, we're getting steaks. All right, guys, it's fucking been a blast here. We're a couple deep here. We got everything rocking and rolling, and much love to everyone here in the chat. We'll be back. We got Masters action, guys. Masters fucking action. Jimmy, love you guys. Jose, thank you so much for everything. Leche. Hey, los bookmakers, get that fucking cash, baby.